The following program contains adult language and juvenile conversations. Listener discretion is advised.
Tonight, we are down a monster, but we're gaining 2 ruffians. That's right, this is a hardcore crew that's going to leave you sore and covered in gore. So shriek it from the mountaintops, because these motherfuckers are not approved by the Comics Code Authority. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 358 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience at Castle Wolfenstein. We discuss at least one film a week, we argue, we make fun of each other, and from time to time, we allow ruffians into our studio, which we have done so tonight. So before we jump into anything else, we're going to go ahead and introduce our guests. And here in studio from Rough House Publishing and other things, we'll get into some of the other things, but first and foremost, he's representing Rough House Publishing, and that is Steve Van Sampson.
Hey, how's it going, everybody out there in the interwebs, you grimy, gruesome, gory people, you?
That's being kind.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a nice fucking guy. I'll tell you what.
And all the way from the void of nowhere, we're joined by the corpse monger, Mike Wason.
Absolutely correct, boys and ghouls. Happy to be here.
Well, it's great to have you guys here. And originally we were going to have Derek Rook, the head honcho over at Rough House, but Derek had a scheduling conflict, wasn't able to make it, and we're more than happy to have the both of you in his stead. So we appreciate you guys coming on and joining us here. And first and foremost, you guys have some stuff going on with Rough House.
That is true.
You guys want to go ahead, Steve? Let us know what's going on.
Well, you know, I think first of all, for those people out there in listening land with the ears, all you people with ears out there, who maybe perhaps
That's most people.
yeah, but not all.
No, not all. Definitely.
I mean, you can assume that most, probably all of your listeners have ears. I mean, I think that's a fair assumption.
I sometimes wonder if Raven Shadow has ears.
You mean Michael? You mean Michael Raven Shadow?
That's the one and only.
I was
Thank you, Steve.
I was remarking before we were recording that I've never actually heard anybody say his name, just Raven Shadow, but you've done it.
Yes.
You've done it here just now, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But I think maybe we should let Mike give a little bit of a history on Rough House for those who are uninitiated few that might be out there. So, Mike, you've been there from the beginning. I'm the newbie in the house, so why don't you take it away, man?
That I have.
Did you say Nubian?
I'll dust this off.
Nubian. I'm
The newbie Nubian.
What's
He's a delicious Nubian. Let me tell you.
what's a Nubian?
Motherfucker! Noob
He looks like Xerxes from 300.
There you go. Yeah,
Ooh.
I can see that. So please, Mike, give us the history all the way back in time. Give us the complete history. No, you can give us the Reader's Digest version of Rough House.
First and foremost, I guarantee there's some guy right now who looks like Cropsy from The Burning with no ears, who's just like, fuck you guys in your ears.
You said nothing about lobes, all right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the condensed version of the Reader's Digest version of the Rough House saga is that myself and one Mr. Derek Rook, we wound up on the same episode of To Catch a Predator together.
I remember that one.
I've seen that one. Yeah,
That was a good one. Yeah.
the highest rated
Van
one.
Van Sampson was the decoy on that episode, and he was the only decoy to have the distinction of being arrested on a later episode.
Wow,
That's horrible.
Steve, you never told us that.
I mean, we all got our crosses to bear. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean, while we were all getting booked, we did all realized we all had some similar interests other than what got us there, and Rough House was born. But all jesting aside, I actually started talking with Rook just as a fan many moons ago. I bought the zombie graphic novel way back in the early aughts. It wasn't totally clear like who all the artists were, because there was like some change ups and some stuff like that. So I was like, who? There were certain pages that kind of looked a little different, and I was determined to figure out like who my favorite artist from this book was. So years later, with the dawn of DeviantArt, I just started looking up. I just searched Lucio Fulci one day, stumbled onto Rook's work, and I was like, this is the fucker. This is that guy. So I hit him up and just started chatting with the fellow. He was very gracious, very non-wanting to give me a restraining order, which was nice.
Yes, that's always a good thing.
It's a step in the right direction, I find, for me.
And much like Johnny Wolfenstein, Derek Rook does have a handsome voice, doesn't he?
He does.
He does
Very
have a handsome voice, yes.
Both singing
does.
and speaking.
Yes.
He's got a face for radio and a voice for the court system.
And an ass to match. Not that I know. I don't know.
Oh, believe you me, Chico.
I hope he's
But yeah,
listening right now.
So cut forward a few years, I wind up writing for Fangoria. I pulled Derek up out of the Rolodex, and I'm like, hey man, let me write you up for an issue, and we just stayed regularly in touch. From that point, became actual honest to God friends, and a couple of opportunities to work together, presented themselves, and I jumped at it, and that was kind of the prototype of the Roughhouse universe. Nice. So that's the prehistory right there.
Was that the Super Nintendo, or you might want to say the genesis of the relationship?
That was the Sega. That was the Sega Master System of the relationship.
Ah. Fascinating.
What about the ColecoVision? I want to know that story.
They don't go that far back. There is a cutoff.
But yeah, we were working on as these things go. We were working on a raft of kind of like projects that we were hoping to get off the ground, and we had one that was kind of the front runner, and we were prepared to throw our logs in the fire.
Yep.
And it kind of just didn't work out at the last moment. So we thought, all right, we want to do something. So what are we going to do? And one of our big bonding points was we both grew up reading Dead World. And from the Arrow boys, Ralph and Stu,
yep.
and Vince Locke. And we started talking about how there was a kind of a lost, if you will, comic book from those cats from the 90s that was like almost like the same setup as The Walking Dead, but as explicit as Crossed, but like no one ever heard of it.
Right.
And we were like, well, how the hell? It was just called The Dead, and we were like, well, how the hell does no one know about this book? Anything you like right now could be traced back to like this book. So we decided, with due diligence, that we were going to drag that abomination kicking and screaming back into a modern age, whether anyone liked it or not. And so we released a monstrous phone book-sized abomination, collecting all known material with a bunch of new shit that's sure to get us. If we were joking about being on To Catch a Predator before, it's sure as hell to get us on there now.
Or about being banned by the Comics Code or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
being banned by the entire country of Canada is more like it. We had that going right out of the gate.
It's tough to get banned in Canada too.
Yeah, they're so fucking nice.
Yeah.
They just keep apologizing for like not letting you in. They feel bad about it.
We're sorry we had to ban you.
Oh, it's okay.
Sorry
just have a beer.
I
got my friend Rousdower came over for a beer earlier. I don't know if you want to have some maple syrup with that later. Okay.
Seems easy to get banned in Germany, but I don't know about Canada.
It still blows me away because once again,
yeah,
they
all
invented the Holocaust.
But they're trying to separate themselves from that. Can you blame them?
Yeah, but it's like, John Lennon going, I don't want to play the White Album anymore. You're kind of known for certain fucking things, and they're known for, like, concentration.
And they're really just trying to distance themselves from anything that might be, like, touchy.
Yeah, well, they still scare me. Right, Steve? Germany's
I mean, I'm scared now, just thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm not going there. I was watching Starship Troopers the other day, and I was getting scared.
I was just thinking, like, you guys keep saying band. I was just thinking about Charles Band, the guy who did, like, the music for the... he was music, right? For Reanimator and stuff and all that.
He did movies. He Full Moon.
Oh, he was a producer of Full Moon, right?
Yeah, and
so he did like
yeah.
was it the fake Doctor Strange movie?
Dr. Mordred.
Yes.
Yes.
Mordred.
Yes. With Mr. Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah.
Love that guy. He's the second best poet impression guy in the country after my buddy Rob Villella. I'm just saying. And he's the number one. Shout out to Rob Villella.
Yeah,
he's not going to listen to this.
That's a shame. And Charles Band also knew how to really, take his fans for a ride, so to speak.
Accurate.
And stretch that dollar.
Yes, exactly. So, I think he has the Full Moon. I think he actually have a streaming site now for all the Full Moon stuff.
Yeah,
So-
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that, but he's never been banned anywhere though that I know of, which is funny because you'd think that like he
With
would
a last name
yeah,
like that.
you're like Charles Band in 12 states.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but anyway. So back to Rough House.
Yeah, no, he's technically he hasn't been banned anywhere, but he's been banned everywhere.
Yes.
So he's got got that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that was punishment.
Oh my God, you are fucking right.
Band of the hand.
Which Chucky Band, if you're listening to this, God willing, Ghoulies, come to us. I'm easy to find. But,
So Rough House,
yeah,
it was you were talking about the Dead, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so the Dead, that came together just how we wanted it, and it was like that was like proof in hand that our depraved vision could actually be manifest in the world of the flesh. So we thought to ourselves, all right, lateral move. What's another comic book that's unjustly languishing that this modern PC age needs to get dick slapped by? And so, first words that came out of our mouth.
they're just metaphorical dicks, though, you guys.
No, they're not.
I mean, the gore, the horror, all that stuff is real, but the dicks are metaphorical.
Yes. Dicks are
lying.
cosmic.
Yes.
So yeah, Gore Shriek was it, and we talked to our we talked to the Grand Poobah of the Fanico days, one Mr. Tom Schoolin.
Yeah.
And we figured out a way forward, and we've been off to the races ever since. I mean, we hit a couple of snags, just like anybody does, production snags, whatever, just this, that, and the other thing. We were going to do a couple of books in quick succession, but what usually happens is something hideous happens that causes a delay. In this case, something really fucking good happened, which is we dug up the Gurch, who was like the key, Gore Shriek artist from the early 90s. And he was willing to kind of open the vaults for us. And that actually sort of, we kind of had to go back to formula because we didn't want to just be like, no, thanks for that. But never mind. We wanted to entertain that idea to the fullest. So we kind of went back to the drawing board and rebuilt the new volume from the ground up around that. So that's kind of where we're at today.
And it's pretty funny because to hear Derek tell the story, the Gurch is from the UK. And this guy basically has not done comics since the 80s, pretty much.
Wow.
And
which is insane.
The only presence he has online at all is a DeviantArt page. He doesn't have anything else. He has no social media footprint.
Going back to DeviantArt.
Yeah, DeviantArt, and somehow Derek was able to find an old AOL email address.
Wow.
He's
the one holding it down.
Yeah, it's just him. It's just the Gurch. So it's like ridiculous that he was able to actually find this guy.
Yeah.
And apparently, when he did, the Gurch was just so happy. He probably hasn't been asked in so long, but this guy's talent is so beyond most people. This guy is just nuts. So he's done a ton of stuff for book 2.
Mm-hmm.
So just real quick, if you don't mind, Mike, I'll just drop some basic Gore Shriek info on the listening ear having people.
Please do.
So the original series ran for 13 issues between 1986 and 1991. As you said, it was an exploitation horror splatterpunk sort of anthology book, kind of like in the vein of Creepshow, but a little bit more intense, a little bit more gory.
A little bit.
But same sort of a thing where it's like Evil Twilight Zone, stories ended with a twist, stories ended with a little wink. It's just, as gross as you fucking wanted to be, basically. And yeah, so we're about to drop issue number 2 finally with the Gurch and with Mr. Corpsemonger all over it. And I do have my first story is in it as well.
Nice.
And so yeah, this is going to be pretty fucking awesome. And issue number 2, so you can buy issue number 1 right now. There's a few left, but issue number 2 is up for pre-buy right now on roughhousepublishing.com. You got to say it like that, though.
You do.
Even if you type it, you got to.
You have to spell it that way.
Yeah, you got to put the vibrato on the keyboard. There's a little. If you don't have that whammy bar, it might be a little. No.
Or just lay the vibrator on the keyboard. That's fine.
You know, I never tried that.
Well, there you go.
Please do.
Yeah, you got something to try now.
Yeah. Anyway, roughhousepublishing.com. Definitely pre-buy. We got a lot of awesome stuff. I definitely want to get into like the versions and stuff like that. I don't know if we're jumping to that point yet, but
Go for it. Yeah, let's do it.
So feel free to stop me anytime, Mike. But I have some awesome stuff. So first of all,
we have sorry to interrupt real quick, Steve, but we have volume 1. So
nice.
Derek had given us volume 1. So we showed this off last week, but I'll show it again while you're talking, just so people can kind of get a glimpse of some of the stuff. You guys have a great package of stuff, though. Which
you could just say we have a great package.
Well, I could have stopped there, sure.
But you in particular have a great package.
Thank you, Michael Raven.
Yes.
I'd like to say your full name.
Ooh.
It makes them say Bombaleo when you do that.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't we play a little game? So Johnny, why don't you open that thing, bad boy, up there, and let the listening audience know what they could have gotten if they had pre-bought
if they
issue
got
number
volume
1.
Yeah.
I mean, there still are some left. I don't know about this particular cover. I think this is cover. I don't know. There were 3 covers for issue number 1. It was 48 pages long.
This is cover A.
It's cover A. Okay.
From let's see, Fuller. So I can't remember.
Bruce Spalding.
Bruce Spalding Fuller. Yeah.
Fuller. Yeah. And he was one of the original heroes of Gore Shriek.
Yeah.
So he did one of the stories. He did a couple. He did the cover. He did cover A. He did some art that's on the back, as well. Pretty badass. That's actually my favorite piece. The back art, the vampire lady.
Yeah, that's good stuff, dude.
She's fucking
that back cover's
awesome.
killer.
Yeah.
Really, really amazing stuff. For sure. And so 48 pages, has a full color centerfold poster, double-sided. And we are also doing that for issue number 2 as well. There's going to be a centerfold, because it's all black and white interior, but there is a color centerfold. It's pretty badass. I know Derek Rook did one of the sides, the hospice right there.
Yep.
Mike, do you remember who did the other side? I don't remember who's on the other side of the first one.
I'm trying to think myself. I don't have it in front of me. I'm in the woods right now getting my head eaten.
No, you're in the fucking void of Wisconsin, dude.
The good old void.
Jesus. Oh, the back was just it's actually the covers.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, the covers. But for so what else you got there, Mr. Wolfie?
So we get some stickers. This is a Rough House Publishing sticker right here, and there's also a Gore Shriek Resurrectus. Looks like a 30-year anniversary sticker. There's the Rough House sticker. We got, let's see, what else here?
Boom goes the Michael Raven shadow.
Yep.
Bombaleo. Yeah, that's exciting.
Little kind of like card here. I don't know what you would call this.
A lobby card or something?
It's not a lobby card, but
well, fuck myself.
Just kind of an advertisement for it. And then also there is...
So that was a sketch card?
Yeah.
Right? Can I see the other side? Is there? Yeah. So those were sold in limited quantity. You could actually get an original Derek Rook sketch on those.
Yep.
And I believe there are none left, so you just happen to have one.
Yeah. So we got I got 91 of 1,000.
And I will say I'm going to go into all the extras and stuff for issue number 2, but there are less than 10 sketch cards left for issue 2.
Ooh,
so if you guys are interested in getting your own sketch, they are like Mr. Rook. This guy, he pulls no punches. Every single one of these sketches is so completely unique and worthwhile. They're awesome. He has various examples online and stuff, but I mean, this guy just really goes all out.
Well, dude, not for nothing, but every one of those sketch cards could be a straight up cover to another book. Like no nepotism, nothing. Like every one of his quote unquote sketches is like a full masterpiece.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, so there's less than 10 of those. That's what I was told to say. Less than 10.
There's 9 left
it could
now.
Be
we
9.
just got confirmation.
I was told less than 10, so I'm saying less than 10. And so those are a little bit extra. Those retail if you can get either cover.
It comes in. I don't know if they all come in this, but we got a nice little black envelope with my name on it.
That's the mailer.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you get one and we have to ship it to you, it will come in this lovely black mailer.
Yeah.
You think that maybe somebody died, but they didn't. It's better. It's even better than that. It's you're getting comics.
Yeah. What's better than that?
Not
comics that will
stuff.
kill you.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. So issue number 2, whereas issue number 1 had 48 pages, issue number 2 has 52 big pages.
Whoa, 4 more pages.
Oh my goodness gracious me.
Cannot contain all of the gore.
Oh my God, there's just so much gore, you're going to need a nappy. You might want to say something more badass than nappy. You're going to need it, though, whatever it is.
Whatever's more badass than a nappy.
So issue number 1 had 3 covers. This one has 2 covers. So there's version A and there's version B, and both of these fantastic products feature artwork by such talents as Mark Bloodworth, who is fucking amazing. He was in Gore Shriek Resurrectus 1, and he was also in Dead World. He does a lot of stuff. This guy is insanely great. Alexandros Paromalis, who he runs the company Viral Graphics, and he's just one of those guys. He's just does a million things, and he's freaking insane. He works in pointillism. This guy, so it's like all like the dots.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And it's insane. You see this guy's work, and you cannot mistake it. It's nuts. Alexandros Paromalis, and I believe this is his first time working with Roughhouse. Yes, Mike.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he's new blood for the house. It's pretty cool. We also have William Scarr, your boy.
Love that man.
Talk about that
love
man.
Him so much.
Talk about that man. You love him.
I love him. I mean, where should I start with Billy Scarr, aka Carnagor?
Boobs.
This is a fellow.
Start with the boobs.
The boobs. This is a fellow who, in my younger years, kind of pulled me through a few interesting nights, and then in my later years,
you're not starting with the boobs.
Well, the boobs are what kind of pulled me through those interesting nights. I was going to try and be discreet about that. But let's just say Carnagor has kept me locked in the bathroom for longer than I would like to admit in my days. And now he's this fiend is going to bring a little baby of mine to life called Pizza by the Slice, which is like Texas Chainsaw Massacre filtered through like Airplane. It's complete nonsense, but he turns it to a high art. This man is an absolute. He might actually be a demon.
We haven't checked. We don't know. Yeah,
I've only seen 2 6s on his head, but I'm guaranteed there's a third one somewhere down by the crotch.
It's probably in the back for dancing. There's one in the back.
You have to look at his taint.
Yes.
There we go.
So he does erotic comics. He does this series. This series called Deanna of the Dead.
Okay.
So
nice. Can you type that in, Johnny? Can you bring that up for us?
Deanna of the Dead?
Yes, it's a Deanna.
Thank you, Steve.
Don't encourage it.
But real quickly about Deanna of the Dead and Billy Scarr, all kidding aside, this guy does some like quadruple X-rated stuff, but it's not like just light boxed issues of like Hustler. This guy's got this guy's like the new, like Corbin or something. Nice. Like this guy's an absolute. You can tell he's got a sense of humor. He's an actual artist. He just, he's a perverse man as well. And God bless him for that.
So, and that's not to say that that's really what he's going to be doing for us necessarily, but
that's so much.
That's his background, and he's versatile. He can do all sorts of stuff, but he's very talented.
Hell yeah!
You know what? You had me, then you lost me.
Yeah, you really should be doing some of that stuff. Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm not doing any bait and switches. Don't want to do that. Also, we for issue 2, we have returning from issue 1, Putrid Matt Carr.
Oh, nice. Love
that.
Yeah.
Who is a maniac with a pen. This guy works in. I don't think he does anything digital. This guy is like
no hell
brush and ink and paper.
Yeah.
And he is so amazing. It's like, you ever see a piece of art that's just so detailed that you almost like don't know where to look?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, wow, and he has this intense ability to be able to render light and dark, where the light is, it's shining down on one of the surfaces, and it sort of obliterates that surface completely. There's no lines anywhere. It's all everything's separated, and he is just insane. This guy, he works for Deep Red magazine, and he does a lot of band cover art
covers
and stuff.
And posters. Yeah.
He's insanely great. So that's Putrid Matt Carr, also a really nice guy, and of course, the superhero that we are most excited about, the Gurch!
The Gurch!
Returning to the series after 29 years for his craziest go-around yet.
I feel like you guys need to unveil him with like a gimp mask and say, bring out the Gurch, and then he takes the mask off.
Oh, I think of him as our Buckethead.
Okay.
That's what
yes.
A little less creepy. I mean, it's still a little creepy. But I mean, not the, I don't think the gimp from Pulp Fiction. I mean, that's like...
Bring out the Gurch.
I mean, honestly, if the Gurch were a gimp of any sort, he'd be a little bit less Pulp Fiction and a whole lot more people under the stairs.
All right.
Whole lot
He'll
more
be doing
Cannibal
about
Holocaust. Was there bondage in Cannibal Holocaust? I can't remember.
No. The whole experience was like bondage.
Yeah.
So the Gurch, he did one of the covers. He didn't do both covers, right? One of the covers he did both covers, and
he definitely did both.
And
one is like an archival thing, and one is brand spanking fresh.
Gotcha. And he wrote and he drew 2 stories. So he also wrote 2 stories.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty badass, right? Like that's and there's more. There's also me and Mike, and some other people who are also awesome. But
hell yeah.
so as not to.
I have one of the covers I just put up here on the live feed. I assume that's one of the Gurches.
It is.
Yeah, because that's for volume 2. So
that's my favorite one.
It's amazing. Yeah.
So this
cool.
character, this guy, is basically like a zombie, and his brain is exposed, but instead of brains, he has worms in his skull, and there's a crow nesting, maybe a raven.
Thank you.
Oh.
I think actually it's a raven.
I think so.
Is it a
Yeah.
Michael
Raven
Raven?
Shadow?
Ooh, thank you.
I
Chris.
better cast a shadow.
And he's just nesting in this poor dude's brain, and it's pretty awesome. And this character actually appears 2 other times in some of the extras as well.
Nice.
Because one of the extras we have, I'm just gonna jump down to what is it? Cover. Let me see. I have it written down here. Cover A. Hold on. Oh, cover B. If you get cover B, one of the extras is you get a medical grade barf bag.
Ooh. We do have a barf bag. Let me see. I think it's over here.
Yes, behind it, yeah.
Is it medical grade though? Oh no, see ours is nicer than that. No, that's good.
What exactly is medical grade barf bag?
Well, this is the dead one. So
that's pretty
I mean,
bad.
I would have figured like airplanes would have the best ones, but what is medical
You would
grade?
think. Well, I can only guess. I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't do my
You didn't do
research,
your
that
research?
deeply
You
into
haven't-
the medical. The
You
grades of
haven't-
barf bags.
You haven't
Shed a little
seen
light
this
on
barf
this.
bag?
I haven't seen the barf bag, but I have been told that it's medical grade, which means quality.
See?
So you can't touch everything, right? I mean, you want to touch.
I want to touch everything.
I mean, until you got in trouble the
you want
first
to touch
time.
that?
I got something for you. No.
See, your classic barf bag is if you've eaten too much Taco Bell in one day and you're done shit and you got to barf. Now the medical grade barf bag is if you've just been eating uranium rods all goddamn day.
Who eats uranium rods? What do you guys do in Wisconsin?
Haven't you read the Radium Girls? Jesus.
Keep it real.
It was a real thing. This is how we get Godzillas. Yeah. So anyway, this character with the worms in his head is actually, it's a different picture, but he's on the barf bag. It's a different illustration, and then there's a third one that is on. It's on like a double-sided postcard that the Gurch drew. So really, truly, fans who remember Gore Shriek from back in the day and they know who the Gurch is, he is all fucking over this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, Steve, someone you know well, Boss Rush Mode, is in the chat room, and he said medical grade means it can handle fluids from both ends. And he says ... I actually don't know.
Thank you, Boss Rush Mode. Boss Rush Mode is my bassist in the band Enchanted Exile. I'm going to say a little shout out there. And also, we do a podcast together with the rest of the guys from Enchanted Exile called Retro Redoctopus. And we're we're goofy bastards, and that's all I'll say about. We're a nostalgia podcast, and that's all I'll say about that. But hey, Boss Rush, how's it going? So medical grade comes out of both ends. There you have it. I mean, Boss Rush knows. He knows.
Like, are you supposed to switch in between? Like,
Well, is it big enough to get both at the same time?
No, that's the thing. You gotta you gotta have it's a hot potato, right? You gotta go quick, one end to the other.
You got to toggle back and forth between those orifices.
Oh, I like that word. You gotta toggle.
Up, down, back, left, right.
Toggle between orifices.
I don't have a problem A to B, but B to A. No, not gonna happen.
I got stories there, but that's for another time.
Sometimes you go B to A.
You never go B to A.
Sometimes. One time that happened.
One time.
All right, twice that happened. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, twice becomes sometimes.
Yeah. While I mentioned the chat room, let me quick catch up. We got a few people hanging out. Evil Corny says, "Tell Van Sampson I said what's up."
What's up, Evil Corny? What's going on, man?
We got Marion hanging out.
Babaleo.
Mars was in there. I don't think. Oh, he's back. He says Steve is the best dude on earth, at least top 5.
Aw, Mars.
So
You're the man.
He walked back that best.
He backpedaled, realizing that I can hear him.
And Boss Rush Mode says you got 2 hands for a reason. And Mars says medical grade barf
For jazz.
bags. Yeah. Mars says medical grade barf bags are sealed for a biohazard.
Ooh.
I think Mars would know, actually. So there you go.
There you
medical
go.
grade. Now, do you get to choose which cover you want, or is it random?
Yes, no, you can choose whichever cover. They are different
Nice.
prices. Cover A is actually $15. Cover B is $10.
Yep.
Now, the reason for that is cover A actually comes with a full-length CD,
Nice. Okay.
which is pretty cool. So they all have different. Some of the stuff's the same, like stickers and whatnot. They all have little stuff like that. But the big things, cover A has this full-length CD from the band. I have it here somewhere.
Is it
Where
halitosis?
No. It is it's the Maniac Banshees.
Oh, okay.
The Maniac Banshees, and they are they're like an extreme metal band that I guess they call themselves horror metal, which sounds pretty badass. I don't know if that's like a Library of Congress approved genre or not.
Fair.
Should be.
But I mean, we can call them that. I mean, that's fine.
Sure.
So 11 full length, 11 song or all original songs, gore shriek inspired music.
Nice.
So if you're into heavy shit, which I assume all your people with ears are.
Well, even some of the ones without them, maybe.
And Cropsy, yeah.
And Cropsy's definitely a metalhead, man. You know it. Well, either metalhead or like really gross bluegrass.
What's gross bluegrass?
Yeah, Aries, are you into that? Do you like that genre?
He had my attention with that one. Look, I might be into that.
Grass.
Like the Cannibal Holocaust of bluegrass.
Yes, exactly.
I'm just going to keep saying Cannibal Holocaust. I don't know. It seems to always work. But, so you can get either cover. The cover A is going to be printed less, but there is legitimately only 1,000 in total of these bad boys, and that is it. So if you guys are interested in all about any of the crap I'm blibbity blabbing about, by all means, head on over to roughhousepublishing.com and secure yourself a cover of your choice. And if you if you're into the whole sketch thing, remember, there are less than 10 covers left. Not covers, sketches.
And if you guys go to Rough House Publishing, you click on Store Rough House Books. I'm looking at them right now. We got cover A, cover B.
He is. I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the limited offer of, let's see, the sketch card illustration limited offer. You can choose either cover A or B with that. And it still looks like there's some volume 1s as well with covers from Bruce Spalding Fuller, Putrid Matt Carr, and Derek Rook.
Yes,
So
sir.
you can get the last of those because they're running out. And you can also get volume 2. And when can we expect volume 2 to ship?
The end of June is what we're trying
close.
for. So it's coming up. We got a lot of work to do, but we're going to do it. And I actually have a little bit of a surprise. I've been cleared to drop a little exclusive news on Trick or Treat Radio for tonight. And that is the other big extra for cover B is that we are doing a 10-page, what's called an ash can. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
What do you guys want to explain what an ash can is?
Well, yeah, it's like a promo. He just has promos, material.
Raven
comics,
Shadow, it's
usually.
not what you flick your ashes into when you're done smoking.
Why? It's fine.
No, he was saying the right
I know,
answer
I
before
know,
you
I
cut him
know.
off.
See,
I mean,
see what it is fucking.
I know, it's
He's
fucking unbelievable.
Terrible. It's fucking
and
rough.
sometimes he doesn't use your full fucking name,
see?
too. It's ridiculous.
I'm fucking tired of it. Let's go form our own house.
Michael Raven Shadow Esquire Jr. Senior the Third.
Thank you.
There you
John.
go.
Thank you.
That is better.
Tell him, Steve.
I did.
Tell him, Steve.
I did.
You've been wanting to say that for like 20 years, haven't you?
Tell him, Steve. Tell him. Yeah,
Say it
yeah.
again.
My brother's gonna be back soon, though. My brother's gonna. Then you'll be sorry. Yeah. So an ash can is basically like it's a promo comic. It's usually kind of short. Sometimes it's just a big piece of paper folded a few times, and it's sort of a not for resale, just kind of a promo thing that you might get at an event or something like that. So actually, there's going to be 10 pages of this bad boy, and the exclusive info I'm gonna drop right now. Unless Mike, you want to drop the names of the artists that are in this here ash can?
Dare I?
I dare, sir. Yes, please.
All right.
Do it.
Lurking moistly
Oh,
in this
I like
ash
that.
can
Yeah.
are the not to be shown to your mother at dinner time talents of one Mr. Jeff Zorno, the monstrosity who pens Godzilla 25/8 for IDW and does a lot of stuff everywhere else. He was in volume 1 of Gore Shriek with my boy Steph Hutchinson's Exordium, which we like to charmingly call Baby Shower. Kids dropping like hailstones. We got that boy back with a little soiree. And the one, the only, the possibly pseudonymous but nonetheless magnificent Alex Horley will be joining the dance card as well. Alex Horley, for the uninitiated, is a man who's made both Topps' Mars Attacks and DC's Lobo look as succulent as a Thanksgiving ham. And he rolls with Rob Zombie, so there you go.
And now they're in the rough house.
Now they're in the roughest house on the block.
Well, I mean, and their art is only going to be in the ash can. Is that right?
Absolutely.
This time around,
Wow.
yes.
So that's
This
So it's decisions.
Yeah.
Do you get the CD, or do you get the barf bag?
the medical grade.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's
Barf
actually
bag.
it's a barf. Barf.
Raven Shadow. How do you say that word?
Bath bag.
Bath bag. Yeah.
It's a fucking bath bag.
Fucking
dude.
bath bag.
Ba-
It's a fucking bath
It's a
bag.
bath bag kid.
We're not talking about Nightcrawler, what he does when he moves around.
No, he bamfs.
Fucking Bamf kid.
That fucking guy, man. Nobody fucking bamfs more than that fucking guy.
Fucking Nightcrawler.
I know, Nightcrawler, and he's looking around and at these little fucking guys, and they look like him, and what does he call them? He's like, I don't know, they're fucking bamfs, I guess. Like, what the fuck?
Fucking
I mean-
original bastard.
Like, he names them collectively. Like, what the fuck? It could be Carl on drums. One could be like Gary. I don't know, but no, he's like, no, collectively they're the Bamfs.
Tito.
They should have called the name of the band.
Tito, yeah, Jermaine.
Jermaine, right?
Yeah.
Everybody.
It should have been the Maniac Bamfshies.
Oh shit!
Producer Wolfie.
Oh my God, that's why you got the big chair.
Raven Shadow's a big chair now.
Oh, it's very exciting. Steve, you don't know.
Sorry, Michael Raven Shadow.
Thank you. It was
That
so
is
bad.
better. That is better.
It was so bad before you came here, Steve. I'm telling you. They gave me. I had to sit on a rock.
That is horseshit.
Yeah, it sucks.
That is fucking horseshit.
For 7
Sucks.
years, you turned down other chairs,
Well,
so
listen.
it's your fault.
They were bad chairs.
No, that chair, they're all bad.
Steve is a good chair.
Yeah.
I mean, this chair. I'm not complaining. My ass is all right.
Yeah, it is.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all
He
right.
doesn't have a medical grade,
Cushion.
like Aries does, but
It almost sounds like a rating for like Truck Stop Monthly. My ass is all right. 5 stars.
Oh man.
Rough House should definitely publish Trucker Monthly or whatever they call it. That's your new.
Well, in our next announcement,
Ooh.
yeah, it'll be an anthology of what happens in the truck stops, right?
Oh, that'd be horrible.
I'm gonna say no. We're not doing that.
Yeah, outrageous.
So
I am only the Nubian, but I'm gonna say no.
Yeah,
Put
exactly.
a kibosh.
To catch a trucker.
Oh. A trucketer.
So obviously this is going to be available at the end of June. Now, unfortunately, I don't think Mike's going to be at Scaricon, but I know, Steve, you will be there.
Yes.
So
me and Rough Master General Derek Rook.
That's right. So what can people expect at Scaricon? Can people pre-order there, or is it just all online?
Pre-orders are online.
Yep.
We're going to be selling copies of Gore Shriek Resurrectus #1. And we're going to have a few, some prototype T-shirts you guys can check out. And we're selling those for short dough. And also, I'm going to be there. So for those who don't know, I also, I've been welcomed into Rough House recently. I'm also a novelist. I've written a couple books. My jam is, thus far, I write post-apocalyptic vampires set in Africa, basically.
Perfect.
Sold. See, that's the thing. Like,
Sold.
It's a really short elevator speech, and you either care or you fucking do not.
Are there truck stops in it?
There are none.
Hard pass. No, I just kidding.
Hard pass.
There's a really great scene with a gate with skulls on it, but no
Okay.
truck stops.
All right. I think it's a good
I've seen that
substitute.
in a truck stop.
So I'm going to be selling my books, which are the Bone Eater King and the sequel Marrow Dust. They're in the Predator World universe. Ooh. And so it's books 1 and 2. And so I'll be selling and signing. I always do a little sketch if you come by and pick up some books.
Nice.
And I think that I think it's going to be a good time. We'll be there all weekend. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Scaricon in Framingham, Massachusetts.
That's right. So if you're, for the folks who are listening to this before, that's June 7th, 8th, and 9th in Framingham at the Sheridan. And anyone who's going to be there, stop by. Obviously, come say hi to us, and then stop by the Scaricon, the Rough House booth.
Hell yeah!
And say hi to Steve and Derek, and buy some shit.
Absolutely, and just look for the guys who look like Conan the Barbarian and Ming the Merciless. And I didn't make that up. That was given to us. I like it.
I could see it actually.
Yeah.
Is Derek going to bring a battle axe?
Derek is the
sword?
battle axe. He always he smuggles it wherever he goes. I mean, what do you want? What do you want me to say? Yeah.
So that's some pretty outstanding stuff. I mean, obviously, in the past we've for Volume 1, I believe we had Tom Schoolin on with Derek when he was in studio, and then we also connected up with Putrid Matt. We had him on, so
nice.
We've talked to some of the folks, but it's awesome having you on, Mike, and also you here, Steve, just to obviously just to get some other voices from Rough House on the air, and I think at this point, if people have been listening for any period of time, they know that we're big fans, and obviously you've heard the passion. Derek's been on several times, and everyone knows how passionate he is and how fucking awesome he is, and so this is something we wholeheartedly approve of and support. So we want you guys to check this out, because this is your shit. This is the kind of shit that you guys love. This is fucking Gore Shriek Resurrectus. This is the return of Gore Shriek. If you guys knew about Gore Shriek in the 80s, then you know the lineage. If you didn't, now it's time to find out, and you need to check these out, because it's fucking great stuff, and it's all passion project. Like, this is something. Obviously, I know, Steve, you're new to the Rough House publishing, but, Mike, you've been around for a while. Like, this is a passion project you guys have been working on for a long time.
Yes, absolutely. This is, if a player piano were to crush Derek's head tomorrow and I got taken out by a stray locomotive, we'd be happy that this was our last statement out of this world.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen, but... yeah, as Steve holds up the horns, that would be very metal if it did.
That's a nervous tick I have. That's actually my speech impediment. I can't help it sometimes. I didn't even know I was doing it.
For lack of a better thing to say, you just throw up the horns.
Yeah.
What?
See, there you go.
I don't know.
The people not watching the video stream are like, what?
This is a really great time. Thanks for those kind words, Jess.
Of course.
That's really awesome. I mean, for sure, this is a really great time to get involved. If you're into this kind of stuff, you're into like passionate, creator-owned sort of, comics like they were back in the day.
Yeah.
This is down and dirty stuff, but, Gore Shriek is not what we will always only be about either. This is a great year to get involved because, we re-released #1 in, I think it was February. It was January. We're about to, we're right on the cusp of #2. #3 is going to be out later in the year. And, next year you're going to see us branch out a little bit.
Yeah.
So we definitely got stuff on the horizon. We're talking about stuff that's not comics.
Yep.
We're talking about, maybe doing something like a magazine like Heavy Metal used to be back in the day.
Nice.
Something very different, something like that. And then we're talking about doing novels and novelettes and different stuff like that. So we're going to branch out. We're going to kind of, I think, stay close to the box of horror that we are, but we don't necessarily. We're not only going to be Gore Shriek forever.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's a great time to kind of get familiar with the brand and see what we're all about. And if you really like what you see, stick around because we got some shit in the pipeline too.
Yeah, and Derek has alluded to that in the past, and I'm super excited. Obviously, I'm excited about Gore Shriek Volume 2, but this stuff down the road, Derek seemed like he was very happy about some of the things that were coming down the pike. So,
oh yes.
Yeah, and obviously hearing you guys talk about some of the stuff that's coming down too is really exciting. So,
well, you sound excited.
I'm always monotone.
No, I know.
No, I know. I am very excited. I'm very excited about this stuff, and
your eyes are smiling. I can tell.
They're throwing up the horns. Actually,
I should have picked up on that. Damn it!
We speak the same language. So as we start to wind things down here, Mike, is there anything else that obviously, I mean, I know this is your focus, but is there anything else that you want to promote or anything else you want to go ahead and get out there, any social media or anything like that?
Well, Mike Wason, the Corpse Monger, can be found on Facebook, can be found on Twitter. I'm not a hard dude to find, but if I may very briefly just say what Rough House is about to me, once upon a time, little corpse monger, growing up as a kid, things weren't always super easy. I had comic books to hang my hat on, whether it was Gore Shriek, Dead World, Ralph Snart.
Yeah.
If the world was falling down around me, I could always turn to these maniacs putting out these comic books who were going to hold me up and get me through my next day. And Rough House is absolutely that for that next generation of kids who do not know where to hang their hat. And that's what I want to say.
That's fucking awesome, man. Yeah. And I think if you guys are not familiar with Rough House, definitely check it out. This is, if you are into horror or gore, you're going to fucking love this. And this is, like I said, a passion project from all of these guys. And it's also independent art. Like if you guys want to see more of this, I know a lot of people bitch about, there's nothing out there for me. This is for you. And if you don't support this, there may not be more of this. So check this out, roughhousepublishing.com. Go check it out. Buy the fucking books. Pre-order them. They'll be out. You pre-order them now, you'll probably have them within the month. So do it and profit, right? Maybe.
Yeah, come on in. The door's open. You don't even have to wipe your feet. Just come on in.
Yeah, exactly.
Just come on in.
So, Mike, it was a fucking pleasure, man. Like I know, like Derek has talked a lot about you over the time, and maybe we'll have to do this again. We'll connect up again from the void of Wisconsin. But it was a pleasure to chat with you, my friend, and we'll definitely have to keep in touch and do it again.
110%, dudes.
Awesome, Mike. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch up with you soon down the road, man.
All right, see you all in the headlines.
All right,
take
care,
easy,
bud.
man.
Later.
Awesome. Well, it was great having Mike on. We really appreciate him taking the time, especially legit. He was in the void of Wisconsin. You
can actually just say Wisconsin.
True.
I mean,
it's kind of a given.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little redundant. Yeah.
But he literally had his camera on his phone, and he was looking around, and there was literally nothing around him. Like
he was in the white room with the black curtains. Was he in it? Never mind.
So this sounds really fucking exciting. There's some great stuff that you guys have, and Steve is going to hang with us just for a little bit longer. He's gonna sit through the break, and we're going to come back and talk about the film in a few minutes. We have a couple other things to talk about before we go to the break, though. So, and Steve, also when we come back, I want to talk about some of your other stuff. I want to dive a little bit into some of your books and podcasts and music and stuff. So I figured we'd keep you for a few more minutes. So if you guys want to help support the show, there's a few ways you can do so. The best way right now is to head over to patreon.com/trickortreatradio, and we are now on Patreon. And So we got a new patron this week. I'm not going to have you read all of them, Raven Shadow. We'll do that every once in a while.
Okay.
But we got a lot going on this week. So, but our new patron this week is our buddy Tim Chuma from Australia. So he is in the treat tier.
Nice.
So we appreciate that, and he already gave some of his feedback on some of the things he'd like to see. So we, for those who aren't aware,
fascinated. I'm fucking fascinated.
For those who aren't aware, we put out our first Patreon exclusive episode this past Saturday on the 1st of June.
Oh, nice.
So you guys can go check it out. There's the audio version and also the video version. So depending on which one you want and which tier you're in, we have them both available. So we just sort of we talked about some celebrity encounters, I guess, as we get geared up for Scaricon. We thought it seemed appropriate. So there's some old standby stories involving a famous writer's balls.
Yes.
That you'll hear about, and some new ones you haven't heard about. So you can check that out. If you're a Patreon subscriber in the treat or higher tier, you'll be able to check that out. And what you can do is, maybe we'll post a video about this actually, but you can go ahead, once you subscribe, it'll send you a link. And then what you can do is you can take that link. It's an RSS feed. You can plug it into your podcast player of choice, and you can subscribe to our Patreon feed right from there. So as long as you're in Patreon, you're one of our supporters, you can plug that in, and every time we update and send out a new episode, it'll hit that RSS feed and appear in Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whichever you use. So if anyone needs any help with that, let us know, and maybe we'll send out a video about that. So if you guys want to support, that's the best way, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. Now, I know we're running a contest, and I decided to extend the contest a little bit because we have some of the stuff that I want to show that we're going to be giving away. So we have some of the stuff here in studio, so we'll show that a little bit later. I want to get through the film review, and then after that, we'll talk a little bit more about it. So we've extended that a little bit. Yep, an empty bottle of Jack Daniels, as Steve is showing. I'm sure it'll get there in one piece. And in addition to that, we got some Trick or Treat Radio merch that we'll show off that we'll have at Scaricon.
I'm excited for that.
So it's not really merch per se. It's like little doodads that we're gonna give away for people who come chat with us. So if you guys want some stuff, you're gonna be at Scaricon. Come hang out with us, and we'll have some stuff for you. And also, we're the podcast awards are this upcoming weekend at Scaricon. It is on Sunday, June 9th. We are up for 2 awards for Best Long-Form Show and also for Best Overall Podcast at Scaricon. Also, Steve's good friend, and you've appeared several times on Patsy the Angry Nerds show, Throw It on Thursday. They're also up for 2 awards as well.
Another show that you just happen to produce.
Yes,
I mean,
I do happen to produce.
We're just going to slide that under the door.
So, yeah, so it should be a great time at Scaricon. We're looking forward to it. We got some cool stuff going on. We're going to have the cameras rolling, the audio rolling. We're going to record some exclusive stuff for the Patreon. So if you guys swing by, if you want to be involved in it, let us know. We'll get you involved. So also, Raven Shadow, there's another way people can support us. There's a few ways.
How?
If people want to go to trickortreatradio.com, they can scroll down. There's going to be an Amazon logo. You click on that. It inputs our affiliate link into Amazon, and everything you purchase in that session gets attributed to us. We get a tiny little cut, Michael Raven Shadow.
And it turns out it's another way to keep the lights on.
Yeah, it doesn't cost any extra. I forgot that part.
You're fucking it up, Johnny, because you're saying things that I
Patreon,
say, and then I don't know what you say.
Okay, Michael Raven Shadow.
Thank you.
You don't know what he says? You have your headphones on. You should be listening to him.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking about what
he should have your undivided attention.
I'm looking at him, but I'm thinking about...
You're looking at my back.
Ooh, it's fucking nicely. Steve, he's been working out, right? Seriously.
I mean, he's about to Hulk out of that friggin' shirt.
Seriously, it's like...
No, I saw your peaks. I saw your new peaks. You got
my peaks and freaks?
Yeah, your peaks.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Casually posting, no, it's been working out. Oh, look at these guns.
Feeling cute. Figure I might post a workout selfie.
Might Hulk out of my shirt later. IDK.
I liked that when I was smoking a butt and doing some shots in my downstairs. It was nice. I was like,
you liked it.
Like, Johnny's looking really good. Look at him.
You're like, I'm feeling really good with this smoke in my lungs.
And I'm like, honey, I could do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna start working out.
This thing's vegan, right? It's vegan, isn't it?
I got vegan.
Cigarettes vegan?
Yeah, Winston Vegans. Nice.
So you guys can support us on Amazon as well, and a lot of you have been. We've been seeing some stuff, some action on there still, so we appreciate it. And then also we do have some physical goods and some digital goods on trickortreatradio.com. Click on store. We have the greatest hits volumes 1, 2, and 3 available to purchase, and a host of other stuff on there as well. So all of that is a great way to help support. Like I said, Patreon's the best way, though, because it goes directly to us and helps pay for the show, helps pay for the hosting, for the website, for the podcast, for the internet, for the studio, everything that we do. So any support you can give, we appreciate it. And as I said, we're extending the contest. I'm not sure what the date is, mostly because I was away for a few days and we had Rough House coming in. So we had a lot going on. So we'll figure out the details of the contest. But the other thing I wanted to mention is our winner for the free Scarecon tickets is Marion.
Oh.
So Marion sent us a lovely photo of her watching the video feed.
See?
And it was of MZ almost dying, which I couldn't help but go with that one. So
it's kind of a winner, right? It's kind of
winner, vegan dinner, right? Raven Shadow? Is that how it goes?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. You get it's water in a napkin. There you go. And a beet.
Yeah. Like a fat beet?
Yeah, what's the one you like? The legumes we talked about.
Legumes.
The legumes. What was the show? Steve, you ever hear
the Goonies? Yeah, that's my favorite movie.
Yeah, like a bean apparently. All beans are derivative.
It's a legume.
Oh, a legume.
See, Steve knows.
Yeah.
No, Robert.
It was a fucking Friends joke. Yeah, my wife loves that fucking
really?
Friends episode.
So does Johnny apparently. He can't stop fucking talking about legumes.
Well, he fucking loves vegetables. He's powered by fucking veggies, dude. I think a legume is technically a veggie. I think it's like a grain. Yeah. I don't know. You should tell me. What is it?
It's beans or nuts?
It's a legume.
Yeah.
It's a legume is what it is.
It's a creature from the Black Lagoon. Raven Shadow.
See?
Why is that not a thing? Is that a thing?
It should be a thing.
The creature from the Black Lagoon.
It was our episode title last week because Raven Shadow said it.
Oh,
Thank you.
Oh, fucking A. Michael
Raven Shadow.
Michael Raven Shadow.
Mike Raven Shadow.
If you just say Raven Shadow, I have no idea who you mean.
You're confusing, I guess, Johnny Wolfenstein.
Right, because of the other Raven Shadow.
Well, Raven J, but different.
Yeah, but that is different.
A lot of ravens.
All right, so we are going to take an intermission, Raven Shadow, even though MZ's not here. Oh, speaking of which, MZ's not here.
Fucking guy, week after week.
It's fucking believable.
It's fucking ridiculous. Call Derek. He's pissed already.
I didn't even. We jump right into things. I didn't even talk about what we're reviewing. We're going to be talking about the film Starfish. We'll be talking about that in a few minutes. And then, since we kind of reverse things, we did the Rough House thing first. We'll do the movie, and then at the end, we're just going to shoot the shit for the last part of the show. If you guys have any feedback, if you're listening live, whether it's questions or thoughts about this week's film or previous week's films or previous discussions or just any old shit, just go ahead and send us a voicemail or an email, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. I think we have one or two as of now, so looking forward to hearing those. And if you guys have any additional ones, let us know. Or in the future, if you're not listening to this live, send it anytime. All right, Raven Shadow.
Yes.
So you sit down, Michael Raven Shadow.
Thank you.
You
John
sit
Wolfenstein.
down. You know Steve
He's
Van
getting it. He's getting it.
You know
Okay.
Steve Van Sampson's going to be in studio. Actually, you probably didn't know.
I had a feeling.
You know Steve is going to be here,
Oh.
and you're going to watch a film called Starfish. What do you do to prepare for this fucking movie? What do you do?
Oh, man, you don't want to know, Johnny.
No, I do. I'm asking you. What do you do?
All right, I'll tell you.
That's the fucking setup.
He literally wants to
literally
know.
want to
He
know.
asked you.
Oh.
That's how it works. He asks, he wants to know.
Oh, I thought it was kidding. I thought it was like, it's kind of like.
No, Michael Raven Shadow.
Oh,
I
thank you,
want to
John.
know.
See,
I
that's
want to know.
exciting. See, see what,
It's
thank
like
you.
Pavlov's dog. It's
Enough
like
with
that.
the applause.
Yes.
He's applauding himself.
Well, that's like the Pavlov. He says it and he claps.
yeah. Well,
Ding.
Johnny says, yeah.
Instantly
Michael Raven
salivates.
Shadow, and it's just a.
I'm a fucking seal.
No, it's like it's like Steve has thrown up metal. Like I get nervous and I just clap. Hey,
Look,
very
it's just a
exciting.
speech impediment I have. All right,
Yeah.
I'm very sensitive about that.
No,
Don't-
you just clap for yourself.
No, I clap for everyone else too. I'm glad.
No,
for
you
Rob-
don't.
only clap when
No,
your
you
name
only-
gets said.
I want to.
Or when I do your intro. You get really excited and then you clap for yourself.
Well, first of all, I get big ups and excited for Rough House Publishing branching
Hell
out
yeah!
new,
Well, I gotta say, Michael Raven Shadow, that was a hell of a fucking intro you gave us today. Holy shit!
It was good.
That was a hell of an intro.
Is that nice?
You done good on that one.
You really pulled that out of your Starfish.
Oh! Well, what can I say but fucking strap on?
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories.
With your hosts, John,
Josh,
and Luke.
We have action,
horror,
and adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
A podcast for the barbarian at heart.
Trick or Treat Radio is the greatest podcast ever invented. The spelling is very bad. I'm not sure who wrote this. And the Deadites? The Deadites. Is that a company that procures houses? The Deadites. Oh, it's the Deadites. The Deadites are a fantastic musical act. That is what I was supposed to say. And there you go. There it is. Cheeseburger. Remember to Rent the Fly, because that's a good movie for making love to.
Jeff Goldblum, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we can get you on the show again sometime soon.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
Thank you guys for having me on. It's a blast. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much.
And, Trick or Treat Radio, man. That's where it's at. That's the new Fangoria Radio is Trick or Treat Radio.
No. Don't say that.
That's like, you really put us under.
It's like swearing in church.
You just jinxed us.
Yeah. you put a lot on our shoulders just now.
Well, we can strive for greatness.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
you really are. You got a great show.
And we're back on Trick or Treat Radio. That was played a little bit of stuff from Roughhouse Publishing. That was Gore Shriek Resurrectus, written by Halitosis, featuring vocals by Derek Rook and Christina Fiore. So there you have it, folks. Got some cool stuff going from the. And is that included in any of the packages, Steve, that you're aware of? Or is that just online?
It is not.
Okay.
That's online right now, and that's where it's going to stay until you put it into your ear holes.
Yes. So put it in your ear holes. It's
Most
on
of you.
It's on the Rough House site. Go to roughhousepublishing.com. And then from there, just click on music, and it's the very first track, Gore Shrieker Resurrected. So
yeah,
check it out.
there's a smattering of music, and hopefully that will grow over time.
Yeah. And it's awesome that you guys have some I just think it's cool. I love the whole sort of multimedia thing where, it's not just comics, it's not just music, it's a little bit of everything.
Well, we are the home of the not so funny books, music, and pop media.
There you go.
There you go.
So speaking of media, let's talk about some of your other media, Steve.
Oh, sure.
You start wherever you want, man. You want to talk about the band or the podcast?
Oh, we'll talk the band. The band, so it's Enchanted Exile, and you can find us wherever music can be purchased or downloaded illegally. It's up to you.
Legally or illegally?
Either way, as long, basically as long as you're enjoying it, that's what we care about.
Yep.
Yeah. No, we're on SoundCloud, we're on Bandcamp and iTunes and all this good stuff. So Enchanted Exile, we kind of like think of ourselves as classic heavy metal, but that's kind of also in need of some clarification. I don't know, like we love Dio, we love like Judas Priest and stuff like that.
Yep.
We have not a lot of screaming vocals or anything like that, but we're kind of just like traditional metal. I think it's so obnoxious. I always thought it was so obnoxious that bands could never like describe themselves. And then I was like in a band, and it's really fucking hard to describe yourself.
That's not a bad thing,
It's like an Airheads, They're like, They're like, oh, we're kind of like a power slop with, we're not really grunge. We're kind of like, yeah.
The
anyway,
Lone Rangers?
You pluralize the Lone Ranger? But we have 2 albums out. The first one is called Never After. The second one is Bloodwork Scriptorium, and that came out just a year ago. It came out last June.
Nice.
So fucking A. We are working on album 3, but kind of have been concentrating a lot on our podcast recently, so it's taken a little bit longer with the music, but it's fun though, So we're just brand new podcasters.
So
basically.
So do you guys play out these days, or is it more of just like, hey, let's write some music and put it out?
It's 100% that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were never club musicians. We always just we played a couple shows like back in the day, but we just decided it's a very different time commitment. And
Absolutely,
we don't have to worry about practicing. We don't have to worry about lugging gear around and stuff like that. We also have no drummer. Our drummer exists only in our minds.
So that makes it difficult. I guess you could probably have the tracks play, but maybe that's not as exciting.
It's okay for certain types of music.
Yeah.
I think it's weird for heavy metal. I think it's rock and roll. It's a little bit weird. But it's fun. We have a lot of tributes to different things in our music, and mentioned Ronnie James Dio. We have a tribute song to Ronnie James Dio on the first album called "The Bringer of the Horns."
Nice.
And we wrote it.
That's how you talk.
That's how you do it. It's my speech impediment. And we have we sort of wrote it as like we tried to make the Lost Heaven and Hell track. That was kind of like the mission statement.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So
that's cool.
You familiar with the term like style parody?
Yeah.
So style parody is basically you're like writing a song, not copying somebody. You're not truly doing a parody like Weird Al would do, like turn Eat It into or Beat It into Eat It.
Right.
But then he'd have plenty of songs that were just based on nothing.
Yeah.
They're just his song, but it's like, oh, this is kind of like this is my my Prince song, or this is my Four Non Blondes or whatever.
Right.
And so we I mean, I'm telling them. I'm not telling you. You know.
I'm them. I'm pretending to be them.
We are we. But yeah, so we did a little bit of a style parody with that, and we do that from time to time. It's pretty fun. But yeah, so just on the DL, just making music just for the sake of it, because fucking A. You know what? Creating shit is kind of my favorite thing, including humans.
Creating shit or
well, shit. I mean shit in the general term, like in general.
You need a medical grade.
The royal shit.
You need a medical grade barf bag for it.
I mean, if you're creating the right kind of shit. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that.
That's slippery slope.
Yeah.
I'm just a little taken back by the fact that you don't play out
Yeah,
Like
everybody says that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, many moons ago, I was in a band, and that's
another lifetime ago. Right?
Yeah. And that's I lived to play.
Yeah.
You know, we practiced, and that was a chore, and we did record some albums, and that was a chore. Moving the equipment was a chore, but what I wanted to do was just play. I just wanted to stand up on a stage in front of people and play. That was all of what I did. Like, I didn't get paid to play my music. I got paid to carry my heavy ass amp.
Fuck yeah.
That was how I looked at it.
And to fucking rock out.
Oh yeah.
With your
with
your cock in.
Well, it was behind the bass, so the cock could have been out. Yeah.
Was it?
But
though?
no, that was just how I looked at it. It was I just wanted to play. Was to play for the people, to see their reactions. And like I said, we did record music to distribute, but that was secondary to me because I didn't get to see the reactions from the people.
Did you see a lot of people doing this series with their
arms
crossed?
It was a punk rock band, so it was just a whole lot of vertical jumping.
I can do that. That's my dance. The pogo.
That's about as much exercise as I generally get. Fucking A. Hear you, man. I think that the way I would defend it, our choice, because I'm happy with what we've done. I think that it allows us to have it not be an all-consuming thing. So I have time.
Yeah, I can get that.
So I have time to, it takes us about 3 years to put out an album of about 11 songs. And Jesse, you're on SoundCloud, but the full albums are on Bandcamp.
Oh, I see.
That's the easiest thing to go to. But so the first album had 10 songs or something like that, or 11 songs. The second one is similar, I think a little bit more. I can't remember. But look, we're able to do that. Now we're putting out. We're doing an episode every other week for the podcast. We're able to do that. I'm able to be a husband and a dad, write some books on the side. It really is it's all that Henry Rollins quote. There's no such thing as spare time quote. Yeah. Just time, go. Yeah. It's a really fucking amazing quote. I love that. It's one of my favorite quotes. And I'm not even the biggest Rollins guy, but that is a fucking hell of a quote.
Yeah.
It's a great fucking quote.
And it's true. So, just go. Do what you can do. Fill up the time. There is time for stuff. But honestly, playing out is like I said, the difference in time commitment is so vast. We record. We have a studio in my house. We couldn't play with a full band in my house. Our neighbors are too close. We wouldn't be able to do with drums. It wouldn't work. So we would have to, now we need practice space. Okay, now you need practice space, and then you got to actually practice. So you got to go out to the practice space 2 or 3 times a week and book gigs and play the gigs and do all the stuff.
And now you can't write. Now you can't do a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I would say, I'm not going to say I don't miss that experience and wish that we could have that experience. I would be lying. But I think that it is also worth what it allows us to do.
Now, mind you, I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong.
Oh, right. Sure.
It's just that is a completely foreign aspect to me and
Yeah.
also we're going back 20 years. The whole
you guys are riding like dinosaurs. And
I'm a
direwolves
fucking
and
old
shit.
man. You see all this gray? I'm an old fucking man.
It suits you though, Aries.
Oh yeah. I remember when Rollins actually played in a band. He wasn't just spoken word and shit.
I can never remember the name of Rollins' band.
I was going to say even before the Rollins band, right?
Oh,
you remember?
Oh,
Black
I
Flag,
listen to Black Flag. No. But no, I mean, that's just so the whole just putting your music out there was a different aspect. You needed to record it to get it out there. There wasn't just putting it on online, on YouTube or anywhere else. So that's just maybe if I was in a band in this day and age and we had that capability, it would be different for me. Now, it was a vast commitment to do that, and that's why I had to stop.
Yeah.
Because I have a wife, have a child.
Keep saying that, Aries.
Yeah. I mean, granted, he's older now, so I have more free time, but
he's 60.
Maybe. No, I mean, but
mentally.
It's just so it's the commitment to practice and play out is a great deal more.
Yeah.
When you play out, that's your day. You know, you got to take the day off from work.
Yeah.
To load your equipment, to get it to the club on time, to load in, to set up, to play, and to load out. And that's even if you're just, you know, the opening act. You're still out there until 11 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
It's really prioritizing what's important to you. And you know, that's the thing. I mean, obviously, I miss, like, you know, I used to be in metal bands way back in the day. You know, I miss it. But, you know, if I did that, I wouldn't have time to do this, or this. And, you know, like Steve's saying, like, I totally get it. If you were playing out and trying to, like, make a name for yourselves playing out, you're going to be playing out, like, you know, several times a month. That's taken away from time with your family. It's taken away from writing your books. It's taken away from Roughhouse. It's taken away from podcasting. So it's finding that balance of doing everything you want to do and just making it work, you know?
Right. And think of it this way, too. Like, I'm sure we all know people like this. But, you know, I can name various bands that I know bust their ass and have busted their ass for years, playing show after show after show, hundreds of shows, and they have like one EP.
Yeah. Well, and that's
with 3 songs that they put out 6 years ago.
So kind of like the
Deadites. Yeah.
Because you don't have the time, you don't have the money, whatever. So we decided to say, we're like, all right, well, let's just, you know, we started back and we were just Johnny. Sorry. Am I not allowed to ever say...
Not my full name? What's going on here?
Mr. Johnny Woman's.
See, I'm okay with Wolfie, so...
Okay, Wolfie, right. So, it's just that there's too many X-Men names here. My head's spinning. So Wolfie and I were talking off mic a little earlier, but, like, you know, we both started back in the, like, analog days of 8-track recorders in the 90s and stuff. And before we had the name Enchanted Exile. Actually, you guys want to hear the first band? The first band was Torrential Rain. And wait, it was
Rain spelled
R-E-I-G-N, of course.
Yeah.
And we are on the Encyclopedia Metallum. If you want to look us up, you can see, like, baby Steve Van Samson up there. But so we've been doing this for fucking forever, like over 20 years, and we still only have 2 albums to show for it, because we eventually got our shit together to be decent enough to feel like, all right, we're gonna put this out on the internet. But hey, you know, I think that we're in a rhythm now, and we figured it out. But, you know, I know lots of people who, you know, couldn't possibly write 11 songs and record them in 3 years because their schedule doesn't allow it. But there is that trade-off. But we're not playing out. But nobody knows we exist.
There's a young Steve right there.
There I am. There I is. And who's that on the left? That handsome man is Mr. Boss Rush Mode, who is in the chat as well.
Wearing his Metroid Prime shirt, like,
you
like
fucking
a good
got it.
gamer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, it says
also
status.
And so all 3 of those guys, including me, I say those guys, those are in the band now too.
Yeah.
We added my my brother Tim, who plays keys, and we became Enchanted Exile.
I see the status split up.
Ah,
it's
damn.
so sad.
Damn. You know what the funniest part is? Enchanted Exile is on Encyclopedia Metallum too. And none of us have any idea who put these entries up. None of us did this. And, like, when we put out the second album, I mean, it was like days and we were up here. I don't know who the fuck puts, like, does anybody out there know? Does anybody know?
Was it you, Michael Ravenshadow?
Michael Ravenshadow.
He can't figure out how to click on a photo in his IM app. So
listen, all right, Steve. Listen, don't embarrass me in front of
It's Steve Van Samson, Michael.
Yeah, go on, full name here.
Stephen Van Samson. All right,
Stephen Van Samson. That is my father.
You're clapping for yourself again.
No, for his dad.
Yeah, he's clapping for my dad.
Father's Day.
My dad had a rough day today. He thinks he got a spider bite. He was sick. He's like, I've never heard him say this before in my life.
Although the nice thing about looking at Encyclopedia Metallum is when you look at the current lineup of Enchanted Exile, it says Steve Vortex. See also X Torrential Rain.
Ooh, and I swear
Gives it
to
some
God,
validity.
Nobody in the band put these entries up. I swear to God, there's no reason for me to lie about that.
You have some psycho ex-girlfriend who's doing this.
It's I don't know. X Torrential Rain. That's yeah. So Steve Vortex. That's my metal name.
You can
forget that.
What do
instantly.
we call you? We got Vortex. We got Van Samson. No. See all these X-Men names.
Yeah. See, I know you can't keep up with them. I know. I almost wasn't going to mention it.
So, Steve Van Samson.
You can call me El Hom de la Montagne.
Last Cannibal World?
Yes.
I was just going to play a clip of one of these tracks. Is there one that you would like to hear?
Play Into the Void. No, I Am the Void. I don't even know our own fucking songs.
Wisconsin tribute.
Wisconsin, yeah.
Play I Am the Void. This is about the Marvel character, the Sentry.
I must be looking at the wrong album because I don't see it on
Oh. You know what? You're on Never After. Play, let's see. I don't know. Just fucking pick one.
Wendigo,
sure, Wendigo. Wendigo's fucking heavy.
Because that's a great film from.
Do it.
Oh man, what's his name? The guy who did Wendigo. I don't know. Larry Fessenden.
Johnny Wendigo.
No, let's play Wendigo. Right. Play a little bit of this. Aries is putting his headphones on. Serious?
No, just half.
Oh, half. Not quite serious.
Then you remember this could be your final December. We hunt for brave and do not dare.
So
the spirits will bring brother man.
You say that, but you're not going to buy it. You don't know how to buy stuff online.
Don't fucking embarrass me in front of Steven Van Vortex.
Okay, no one listening, no one in this room thinks you can do technology.
Sold.
Yeah, no. Can you bring the Scaricon?
Says the guy who just said do technology.
I can't do it either.
Raven Shadow, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that they're only available online. Steve, do you have any physical copies?
I do. We have
look
physical
at that.
copies. Yeah.
Thank you.
So then, now you got a sale.
Yeah, well, I don't like a paper trail.
So you can do it. You can do 8-track for him. That's great.
Yeah.
We cannot. Don't make that promise.
So there's a little bit of Wendigo from Enchanted Exile. If you guys dig what you hear, go check out the Bandcamp, enchantedexilemetal.bandcamp.com.
Fuck yeah.
So there's a couple albums up for sale.
Thanks, Wolfie.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we have some physical copies left of both albums actually. So
look at right there.
Yeah,
actually, clicked on the merch. You can buy physical copies on the.
Check out that
Bandcamp.
that sick fucking cover art right there. That's both albums were done by a Munich-based artist called. His name is Andre. No, that's not his name. No, his name's Rene. I can't even say it. Rene Anger. I don't know. AING. You know what? I'm just gonna fucking. I can't even say it. The guy's amazing though. It's in the notes here.
All right, let me look at the notes.
Yeah, I should have prepared. I just wasn't prepared. I wanted to be there for him. You know what I mean? I wanted to say the name, and I couldn't do it. What is it? What's it say right there?
Renee. It looks like Eigner.
Okay, can you spell it?
AIGNER.
He is amazing.
Yes.
He's a fucking amazing.
The art looks great. Yeah, absolutely. I'm checking it out right now. And Boss Rush Mode says, "Damn it, Steve! I told you we should have made reel-to-reel copies."
Oh, fucking A! See, this is why we should listen more to Boss Rush Mode. And you know what? Nobody listens to the bassists, right? I mean,
never.
The bassists fucking suck,
right, Aries?
Yeah.
Never. Let's see. Mars. So going back a ways here, he says that Rollins quote. I've taken that quote as my mantra. I love it.
Fuck yeah.
He says, I'm also not a big Henry Rollins guy. I enjoy him, but that quote is what I hang my hat on.
Me too.
And,
hell yeah, Mars. Fuck yeah.
Creepy Girl's excited to hear us talk about Starfish. We'll get to that very shortly, Creepy Girl. We're just going to now want to move on to Retro Redoctopus, which obviously I didn't know this, but it includes all the members of Enchanted Exile.
It does.
So there you go.
So we're kind of like you. We want to be cool like you guys. Because all the members of the Deadites are, well, not all the members.
Well, none of the members of the Deadites anymore.
But yet you still said it in the promo earlier.
No, we don't. We took it out. Oh,
you said it.
In the I don't say it anymore. It's in the music because I don't have the master copy to edit it.
It's in the music.
Yeah,
I know I heard it in my ears.
we try not to have false advertising because now since Mars has moved on, there's technically no members.
I mean,
of the
he's still
Deadites.
with us.
He is in spirit.
Yeah.
And his,
No, you're still making him sound dead.
You're
making him sound dead.
No, his smell is still in here. That never leaves.
Yeah, so it's members of the band. We put out a fun, light-hearted, retro nostalgia podcast. We talk about what it was like growing up in the 80s and the 90s and stuff. And actually, my brother Tim, who goes by 8-Bit Alchemy, is the keyboardist for the band, and he's a lot younger than us.
Yep.
So he's 12 years younger than the second youngest person, which is me. So he has like a little bit of a different, view on things, and he was more 90s, less 80s. But we sort of just I like to talk about shit, and the Facebook group is pretty fun. Everybody's getting involved and posting just random stuff and like old cartoons and video games that you liked back in the day. Talk about a lot of like classic Nintendo stuff and old cartoons and old movies. And we try to not pigeonhole ourselves to like one type of, media.
Yeah.
We just try to, just in general. We talk about toys. We had an episode about board games. And we are about 11 episodes deep right now.
So deep, put your butt to sleep.
Yeah, that deep. It's like I'm taking my morning shit. It's that deep.
Wow.
Yeah. It is that fucking deep.
And what's your release cadence? How often do you guys release?
It's every other Tuesday, every Tentacle Tuesday.
There you go. So every other Tuesday is not a Tentacle Tuesday.
Yes, that's correct. But this coming Tuesday
is a Tentacle
Tuesday.
So there you go. You guys can listen to the Retro Octopus, and I see on SoundCloud you guys have the theme.
This is the old theme, actually. That's the old theme.
Not the new theme,
you
but
can
the
play.
old
You know what? You
theme.
can play the old theme. The old theme still kicks ass. I mean,
right.
fucking whatever.
Let's play it.
Most people probably haven't even heard it.
Boss rush mode. Parasite Steve. 8-Bit Alchemy. Nintendo.
And that solo at the end there, that was done. That's a chiptune solo. So
Yep.
that was done with the NES sound chip.
Nice.
It was done. Family Tracker is the program that 8-Bit Alchemy uses, and he did the same thing on the new version. It's similar song, but it's a new song, but it does the same kind of stuff, and it has a different solo and stuff. But we wanted to keep that chiptune solo because we just love old video games and shit.
Well, there you go. I mean, you guys have 11 episodes, and you got more than one theme already. We only have one theme in 358 episodes. Maybe we should update ours.
Ooh.
This one, actually, to be fair, this is about 4 or 5 years old. We did a bunch of episodes on YouTube.
Ah, I see.
And we were actually on the Boss Rush Mode channel, and we still are. You can check out the old episodes and stuff. But we did, there was a video component, but it wasn't us. We kind of just did, slideshow type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we had, video footage of the game we were talking about or whatever.
Gotcha.
But it's sort of just, we struggled to find an audience, and we decided we wanted to be like a real boy.
YouTube is tough. We haven't gained much traction on YouTube despite, using it to stream the live show, but we just really embed it on our website and we just focus people there. But yeah, YouTube can be tough. Twitch might be better suited for what you guys do, but I don't know if you are interested in going back to the video route or not. But
no, I think we're liking the audio. It's pretty cool. It's fun.
It's a good format.
Yeah, we took a little bit of a cue from you actually, and the way you produce Throw It on Thursday, because we'll do 2 episodes in a row.
Gotcha. Yep.
And then release them. We'll stagger the releases and stuff like that. But no, it's pretty fun. We've been having a good time.
Yeah, and it's good to do. We all have known each other for at least 20 years, if not longer, some of us.
Right.
So it sounds like you guys have that same kind of rapport, which is great, because I think that comes across that's something that you don't get with every podcast, because sometimes, especially when it comes to like celebrities or professional podcasters who make money doing it and have tons of sponsors, it's really two people that like have just been kind of pushed together because they have a common interest, and you just don't get that rapport, I feel, and so I think that there's something to that. So, it seems like you guys are sort of like, kind of on the same vein. So if you guys dig what we do and you want to hear more sort of retro talk, go check out Retro with Octopus.
Yeah. Be a retroid.
There you go. You could be a retroid.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
It's an awesome thing, actually, Wolfie. Thank you for asking. In fact, it's good.
So there you go. Everyone check out Enchanted Exile and Retro with Octopus. And obviously all the stuff we talked about earlier with Rough House Publishing. So I think what we'll do is we'll transition into the discussion about Starfish. Steve did see it, and he's gonna just give his sort of quick hit thoughts about it, and then we'll say goodbye to Steve, and then we'll unless you want to stick around longer, Steve, that's totally up to you. I know, I don't know, it's getting late, so if you want, we can just do the quick hit.
The sun's getting real low.
Yeah, exactly. So let's quickly jump into Starfish here, and the film is a drama, horror, sci-fi. It is... Aries is...
He fucking hates this movie. He doesn't know what to talk about. He's like, fuck this.
I think he heard a sound, because he whenever he just gets up and leaves and looks really curious, like he heard something and is going to check it out. He's going to punch a ghost or something.
It's fucking terrifying, because he'll just do it and
he'll just do it, yeah. So this film is 99 minutes long, and it was released on VOD in 2019. It is written and directed by A.T. White. And it stars, or ghost out there, Aries? One ghost. Did you punch it? Almost. And the film stars Virginia Gardner, Christina Masterson, Eric Beecroft, Natalie Mitchell, Shannon Hollander, and Elias Brett. And the synopsis: a unique, intimate, and honest portrayal of a girl grieving for the loss of her best friend that just happens to take place on the day the world ends as we know it. So... A.T. White, the director, this is his feature film debut. He's done a bunch of shorts, but this is his feature debut, which, we'll get into that a little bit more, whether or not it was a good debut. The film starring Virginia Gardner. She also played Vicky in the new Halloween film that came out in 2018. And she also plays Carolina Dean in Marvel's Runaways show. And she was also Iris in the film Monster Party, which we discussed, was it earlier in this year or late last year? I don't remember.
It was this year.
I think it was late last year, actually.
Or last year.
Yeah, because we had Chris Von Hoffman, the director, on. I think that was last year.
Yes.
So there's the stats on it. We'll get into some discussion, but Steve, if you would give us some, kind of, you can let us know your verdict, trick or treat, and then some thoughts about it.
I think my verdict would be a thumbs down, just for me personally. I'm not saying it sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not my kind of. It's not my cup of tea. It was kind of, these art house movies I tend to find more pretentious than anything, and I definitely felt that with this. I think that any movie that names itself after a small element that essentially means nothing is really really annoying to me. So I don't know. And I know there's going to be people who are like, "What do you mean? Oh, you're so dumb. What do you mean? It's not meaningless. Oh my God, the Starfish. It was everything." And to you, I say, sure, whatever you say. Whatever you say. It could have been called Toaster.
Yeah, ooh,
it could have been called Hinge. There were hinges on doors.
Could have been called Mixtape.
How about fucking Turtle?
I mean, Mixtape actually would have been.
That would have been a great
Mixtape
title.
would have been a great title for it. Yeah. Yeah, Turtle would have been better. It still would have sucked, but
it should have been called "I Like Turtles."
I think Starfish. I think of assholes. And
thank you.
Yeah.
I think Turtle Mixtape would be a fucking dope title.
Turtle Mixtape.
the Turtle Mixtape experience.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, once again,
the turtle had a really awesome name. I don't remember what it is, but it was like Bellini.
Fellini, I think. Was it Fellini or Bellini?
Paul Bellini. No,
Paul Blart Mall
Something like that.
Leonardo. What the fuck?
There's Michael Ravenshadow.
Yes, thank you.
It's good. Actually, the turtle was my favorite actor in the film.
Yes.
The girl was very good. What was her name? Victoria? No.
Virginia.
Virginia. She was very good it was definitely a successful portrait on grief. I think it's annoying when, somebody says, all right, this movie, it's like, it's an apocalyptic sci-fi end of the world scenario with aliens and extra-dimensional monsters, and it's not about any of that.
Right.
I hate that. That's just like you just adding genres to your title so you can like get more hits on Amazon. Pal.
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi power slop.
Exactly. That's what this
was.
Sci-fi power slop.
I mean, this
is that your band, your genre?
I'm working on that.
Straight up though, like if his entire purpose was to do this beautiful, poignant, quiet portrait of grief, he could have just left all the sci-fi shit out. Like, I don't know. To me, it's like, well, that's why. There's sci-fi shit and there's monsters. Okay, that's what I'm there for. I don't know.
Well, if you took away the sci-fi and monsters, this would be a very boring movie.
It would be the same movie, I would argue.
It would go from just boring to very boring.
Well, this is sort of in the vein of like Babadook, right? Like that was. What?
I liked Babadook a lot more than that.
Well, I'm not saying.
Hey, there was a Babadook, and it was, at least the title made sense. It wasn't called like, Doormat.
Well, I mean, I get it. I don't get hung up on titles. I'm sure there's a reason, and maybe I'm not understanding exactly why. I mean, there was a starfish in it, but I'm sure there's some other meaning for it. But in terms of being an analogy for grief in this situation, and in Babadook being sort of something similar, I'm not saying this is necessarily as good or maybe that I liked it as much as the Babadook, but there is this sort of there's this movement of films that have a threat that may or may not be real, and it's just sort of an analogy for a feeling or something like that. So, I mean, I get it, and I enjoy what they're trying to do with this, but we'll obviously dig a little bit deeper. I wanted to get Steve's thoughts. He put in the time to watch the film, so I wanted to get his thoughts on it. So, would you recommend it, Steve? Or is this probably not for people?
Well, it depends on what you like.
Sure.
I mean, if you don't see it for the monsters and for the post-apocalyptic scenario. Actually, what movie have you guys seen? This reminded me a little bit of The Night That Eats the World. Have you guys seen that?
Oh, yeah. Love that movie, yeah.
So this sort of reminded me of it because, like, it sort of wasn't really about the end of the world, and it all happened in one night when the main character was asleep, and it really, really, like, evoked that for me. And I think that was better than this. But
I really enjoyed that one.
I didn't love that one, but I did think it was better than this. But I do think that they're both like same thing. Like, don't watch that movie for
the zombies,
post-apocalyptic zombie movie.
Yeah.
Like, don't watch it for that.
Right.
So no, I'm not going to say it sucks. I mean, if you like your stuff quiet and more art house, I think is probably the nicest way I can say it. Then yeah, it was a beautiful little quiet portrait of grief. It was.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to put it, and we'll discuss it a little bit deeper. But Steve, let folks know where they can find you, where they can find your podcast, all the social media stuff, and also we didn't get a chance to really talk about your writing, but please just plug that as well.
Sure. Definitely check me out on Facebook. You can look up Steve Van Samson.
Michael Ravenshaw is checking you out right now.
Oh yeah, I am.
Do you want a better view? I can turn.
It's gonna be a long weekend.
So Steve Van Samson. Samson has no P in it. Just saying. SAMSON. And I'm on Facebook. I am on the Twitters. And if you look me up on Amazon, you can find my books, The Bone Eater King and Marrow Dust. And I also have a collection. I have a short story in a collection called The Final Summons, which is a pretty fun, it's actually more sci-fi fantasy collection. And I actually have another anthology. I'm going to be in another anthology, and I think it's coming out in August, and that's called Wicked Weird, and that is put out by my good friends at the New England Horror Writers, and they're pretty cool cats. I don't know if you guys know them. They're always at the cons and stuff, and they put out a different anthology every year, and they always have Wicked in the title. So they've done like Wicked Witches, Wicked Haunted, Wicked Seasons. This is Wicked Wicked Weird.
Is that a
Wicked
Massachusetts
Weird.
thing? Wicked.
Yeah.
Wicked pisser.
Well, so it's been brought up that there should obviously be a scatological one, and it should be called Wicked Pissa. Yeah.
That's scary.
Or is urinological? Is that a word?
It is now.
Yeah.
Scatological means pee too. I don't know.
I think it's something else.
What kind of bag would that be?
It just means it comes out of the b hole, not the a hole. No, it was the. I don't know what I've done. The a hole, the b hole. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so the Bone Eater King and Marrow Dust. Check it out if you think that you like your vampires scary and the non-sparkling variety, and you think that maybe they'd be cool in a post-apocalyptic Africa, and you like characters that are I don't know. This is a book set in Africa starring Africans, and the second main character of the first book is a badass, very damaged female. This woman named Marela Nanji. She goes by Ray, and she was so cool. I loved writing her so much, and she had such a better story than the main character that I realized by the end of it that she was going to be the main character of Marrow Dust. So if you look at the two covers, one is very much the male cover, and one's the female cover, and that's because the second one stars Ray, and it's the rest of her journey, and she deserved it.
Awesome, and I just added both to our Amazon store, so if you guys want, Amazon.com. My God, I can't talk. Yeah. Amazon.com/shop/The Deadites, and you can find Marrow Dust and Bone Eater King now on our page.
Fuck yeah, and you can also find it. You know where else you can find it is at the at Scaricon this weekend at the Rough House Publishing booth.
Physical copies, Raven Shadow.
Physical fucking copies. That's analog. They call that analog.
Well, it's the thing. I don't
not
pay...
analog.
Ooh,
no,
I'd be careful. I need someone help when I go over to that booth. No. It's once again. I don't. It's not the media necessarily. It's how I can pay for the media. Mm-hmm. I like cash. Or like
well, we accept cash, cha-ching.
Yeah, space bucks, whatever the fuck.
Space bucks.
Oh yeah, the balloons.
The balloon. Did you say the balloons?
No, the balloons.
We do not accept pieces of 8. So leave those at home, folks.
Chicago Pirates.
Yeah. That's all I have to say about that. Thanks for having me on, guys. That's been awesome. Really good time.
You got it, man. And I do have the Retro Redoctopus promo ready to play at the next break. So you guys will hear that. But it was awesome having you in, Steve. And everyone go check out all Steve's endeavors, especially Rough House Publishing, because that's the one we're talking about. But check out all of his stuff. Check out Enchanted Exile. Check out his books. Check out Retro Redoctopus. And we will see Steve this weekend. And maybe we'll do some video or some audio content if Steve can get away from the booth for a little bit.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
Steve, pleasure having you in, man.
Absolutely.
We'll see you this weekend.
Wolfie. Raven Shadow.
Whoa.
Don't leave me like that, dude.
I can't believe I did this. Michael Raven Shadow.
Thank you, Stephen Van Zandt.
Aries.
Is that your full name, Aries?
I have a surname.
Aries Bartholomew, God of War.
Esquire. He's Aries God of War.
Von Sparta.
All right, Steve. We will catch you this weekend. Thanks again, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, guys.
See you, buddy.
All right. So Steve is gonna hopefully find his way out of here. I don't know. Hopefully, he don't get lost. And we're gonna start talking about some Starfish. Now, we got Steve's thoughts on the film already. But we're going to go ahead and dive a little bit deeper. Now,
this is Q-Buster.
Q-Buster.
Yeah, I think Steve said it.
You think you said it?
Buster.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to say about this?
No, we do, but I think, we could talk about it.
I would like to chat a little bit about the movie.
All
right.
All right.
Jesus, Raven Shadow.
Michael Raven Shadow.
Maybe you were being rude and interrupting our guest, but I was letting him talk, and I figured I'd have plenty of time to give my 2 cents about this movie.
I wasn't being rude. He was talking all the time. That's fine. We enjoyed that. Except for Aries.
No, I let him talk. Now I want to give my 2 cents, my 3 cents.
Well,
Actually, I have 4.
Ooh.
4 cents.
Wow.
Lost a nickel.
All right, so let me just catch up in the chat room real quick. I don't know who this is. Someone named Guest 2825876 says, in his old age, Aries has become like my cat. Just randomly wanders away.
I went to investigate the sound.
I know.
And there was actually a reason for the sound this time.
You punched a ghost.
I did.
His cat does
a little bit.
And Guest says, I have no interest in this movie, but now I'm excited about it. Any movie that has hinges, has my interest.
Hinges?
Hinges?
Yeah, he said when he was open the door, hinges. Like
Oh.
Hinges. He was talking about other titles the movie could have been.
Creepy Girl says, so far I agree with Guest Guy.
Perfect, yes.
And
Steve Van Guest Guy.
Steve Van Guest Guy. Okay. So guest 28257 must be Mars because he says Steve's out of my top 5. He said that later on. So, Babadook, I get the message. This one made no sense. That was Creepy Girl. That movie, the message was that kid sucks, says Mars. That movie, the message, said the same thing twice. Marion says, I get the feeling the sci-fi stuff was supposed to be symbolic, but I couldn't figure out the symbols, if that makes sense. And Mars says, I like how Raven Shadow keeps moving his head behind the floating movie poster. Are you doing it on purpose?
I don't
Trying
know
Mm.
to get behind the movie poster?
No.
Floating movie poster?
Well, in the live feed.
Why does that look weird?
Because that's the way the poster looks.
Always?
No. That's
Oh!
that's on there.
That's not. Oh.
See? See that, Aries? I'm moving.
I do, but that looks. That's the movie poster?
Yeah. Well, it's one of them. There's several of them. That's the one.
Okay.
Creepy Girl also says exactly, Marion, or what Starfish had to do with it. I don't understand. Why does, I mean, the title doesn't, I don't care if the title has anything to do with the movie necessarily, or that I could figure out what it means. It's just a title.
I care a little bit.
Okay, well, I don't care, but that's just me. I felt like the whole beginning of the film was chopped off, like we missed the whole beginning. Not knowing who anyone is, why they're connected. Well, it's because it unfolded over the course of the movie. It thrusts you into a situation and then you find out what's going on. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with the narrative that is a little bit fractured like that. They did it on purpose to allow the story to unfold and you to find information out. And she says, I don't get much clarity as it goes on, especially all the crap about her ex that killed himself because she cheated. Who knows? Okay. Well, we're getting into spoiler territory there. Mars says there was no driving and drive, in parentheses. There was driving and drive. He's just kidding. All right. So I talked a little bit about this film. And so right off the bat, I think we do get thrust into a situation. We sort of see later on in the film, and then we get some flashbacks and also some visions and some other stuff going on. I felt the narrative wasn't fractured that much. Like I pretty much got what was going on. There was no blue dress, so to speak, Raven Shadow.
No blue dress.
As you picked up on in The Wind. And there was also nothing to really let you know that it was a flashback. But we start.
Well, yeah, there was.
Well, I mean, not what I'm talking about is it wasn't like black and white. It wasn't a grainy picture. Yeah.
Well, one person was dead, and then she was alive.
Well, sure, I get that. I'm saying that there's no visual cue aside from like that. It's obvious.
Okay.
That's why I don't know why it was hard to follow. If some people are having trouble. But so we're kind of thrust into it. We see. Let's see. The character Virginia Gardner played was Aubrey.
Aubrey.
Did you call Abacus?
Abigail? No. Yeah, Abacus. Abacus Johnson.
Abacus Johnson.
Abacus, that girl over there. Yeah.
So Aubrey is basically going to the funeral of her friend, and her friend had just passed away. We don't really know much about it. We don't know why, and she goes to the funeral, and then she kind of pieces out like. She sees like a relative of Grace, her friend who had passed, and the relative's basically like, oh, Grace talked about you all the time. Like every time she talked about you. And
yeah, you're Abigail.
Yeah, or Aubrey.
Aubrey, I'm sorry.
She's like, oh, you're Aubrey? She talked about you all the time. So, you kind of get the feeling that there was something deeper going on besides just being, good friends.
Right.
So, and then she goes and basically breaks into Grace's house and is just sort of like reminiscing a little bit and looking at some of the stuff she has and, looking at her bed, and you could see the indentation of her head where her head was in the pillow, and it's kind of sad, like I think it did a decent job of kind of showing but don't telling, and that's kind of a theme I think we'll get as the film goes on, is that we don't get a lot of exposition because it's Aubrey, like it's her on screen almost all the time.
Right.
and we're living kind of vicariously through her actions. And so we don't necessarily get spoken exposition about what's going on, but we get some hints here and there. Like there's that scene where she's looking through the telescope in Grace's house, and it's pointed directly at her neighbor's window,
right.
who are both getting naked and about to have sex. So, and then what did she say? She's like, "You perv," or something like that.
Yeah.
So she's kind of like, like seeing some bits about Grace that she didn't really know, or maybe didn't know about previously. So we get that she's sad about this. We don't know quite how much it affects her until we move a little bit further on. But but I think it did a good job of showing that. The first act of the film is really just establishing the relationship between Aubrey and Grace, I think, is really what's going on. And there's some hints, some subtle hints thrown in about some other things that will happen later on. But it's really that first act is just really just kind of mood. Like, I thought it was a really good mix of mood, editing. There was some really fantastic shots, a very fitting score. And I think it's an exploration of tone and atmosphere in the first act anyways. And I thought it was really well done. Now, it was slow. So if you weren't engaged or bought in, you're probably not going to be enjoying it very much. I can definitely see that. But for me, I was in. Like, I thought that it looked great. The editing I thought was really well executed. There's some great camera movements, just some really subtle, soft movements that I thought were really, really well done and really fit the tone and the atmosphere of what they were going for. So for me, that was a win. What did you guys think of the first third?
The first what?
The first third. So the first act.
Third. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little slow. I was hoping they were building up to more. Once they finally did get to some tension, I thought that was very good, but it didn't deliver to the extent I was hoping for.
Yep. Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I'm saying, I would ramble for hours if you let me. It's my way.
No, you wouldn't.
Always talking. It was slow, but I mean that's okay. It's the build, right? It's the journey, and there were times where.
Don't stop believing, Reverend Channel.
I'm just trying. I'm trying to keep believing, and I can't think of any other journey quotes right now, so it sucks. She was a small town girl, and that was obvious. And after the apocalypse happened, it really was a lonely world. She stole a friend's house to be the only one.
All right.
Well, I don't know. What the fuck? I would then get into it. There are things I'm like, okay, well, this is what it's doing now. And then as suddenly as that started, it would take me back out. And I feel like we've seen a lot of these one-person, I don't know what this genre is.
Well, it's not a genre,
the
but
lonely person alone.
There was definitely a lot of
snow.
Isolationism.
Yeah, isolation.
What?
Yeah?
You
know what I'm talking about.
What are you, Charlton Heston?
Does he do that?
You Marlon Brando.
I swallowed a bug. And also all the isolation stuff, and then also the style of, is this really happening? Is it not happening? Is it in the mind? That kind of stuff, which I think we've seen a lot of lately.
Well, I think all of this was happening, but it was a parable for something else,
Right, but it kind of there were still some scenes where you wondered if it was happening though, like when she's punching the wall.
Yep.
Right. I mean, it's not a spoiler, but
right. Yeah, you're left to wonder. What happened?
Because she goes, something's outside. There's something trying to come in.
There were a lot of
red herrings, or
I'm hazardous to say jump cuts. Things happen, and she's someplace else, and then she's someplace else again rather rapidly. It does tie on to the story. I gotta stop looking at you when I talk. But I mean, it makes sense in the story, but it's a little. It takes you out of it for a second as it happens. It takes your mind an instant to realize what's happening.
Right.
Because it's someplace else. Something else has happened. if it wasn't part of the story, it would be considered a jump cut because all of a sudden she is someplace else. But it is part of the story, and as the story unfolds, it makes a little more sense.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of like these movies where you're sort of thrust into the story, as long as they do a good job of catching you up on what happens. Because this film, for me, like, in a way, there's a scavenger hunt sort of thing going on in this film, where she's going to find these different tapes throughout the town, right?
Right.
These different mixtapes that were left, and so it's sort of a little bit of a scavenger hunt. And I also feel that the story is sort of that way, where you're sort of set out on this task and you don't know what you're looking for or what's going to happen, but then it slowly unfolds. And I thought that was kind of an interesting aspect of this. And is this movie narratively? It is a little bit all over the place, but I think it does wrap up fairly nicely in terms of you kind of get the gist of what's going on. I may not understand every single little bit, but I think that they did a good job of giving you information as you need it. And once we get to the second act of this film, things start to pick up a little bit, right? Like, we had that sort of like, it was a lot of mood, atmosphere, and tone. And then it all of a sudden kind of takes a turn where now we're thrust into this post-apocalyptic end of the world scenario where Aubrey is seemingly the only person left. Now, I don't want to get too much into what it's all about because I think that it's open for some interpretation. But as Steve had said, it is sort of a piece on grief. And her best friend, or potentially, like, I guess they were lovers, right? Is sort
they
of
were
what
definitely closer than even best friends could be.
Yeah. So there was definitely some grief there. And when you're dealing with grief, when you lose someone, or whether it's you lose a relationship, you lose a person that's close to you, I think the way that Steve said that it was like The Night Eats the World was sort of like this isolationism where you're cut off from the rest of the world. And in this case, I feel like she wanted to be alone. Like, she didn't care that anyone else was around. And so, like, that's sort of where she was at. She lost the most important person to her, and she didn't care about the rest of the fucking world, So for me, that was kind of a cool thing where they explored that. And despite the budget, this obviously didn't have a big budget, right?
No, but I think what it was able to use for sets was good and was fine.
No, like absolutely. And that's what I want to harp on is I think they really did a good job of playing up the sort of, end of the world scenario without very much.
Exactly. Whatever they had access to, streets and snow, and they were able to use that.
Yeah.
Well, even the monsters they showed were done well. I only had one problem with one shot as far as the special effects go.
The big one?
No, actually no. I mean, that scene I didn't like, but I didn't have a problem with the monster. It was the first time you saw the smaller monster.
Oh, yeah.
It was only for a half a second.
So when the glimpse is when it's chasing her, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
She's in the vehicle?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it hits the window.
Oh,
yeah,
like
okay, yeah.
It was only for half a second, but yeah, it didn't look... It didn't look well to me.
Yeah.
Compared to what else we were seeing in the movie.
So there was also... Let's see, did we talk about this last week? I can't remember which film it was that we discussed this, but there was where we talked about the, showing the monster and, and having Slaughterhouse Rules was the film.
Yeah, it was not just showing once you build to the monster, but once you show it, you also show it again in different forms.
And I think they did a pretty good job of that in this. Like, we got a couple glimpses of there's clearly a monster. What does it look like? What And then so you see like little bits and pieces, and it gets the mind going. And especially because I think the monsters were definitely Lovecraft influenced. And a big part of Lovecraft is like these monsters are so fucking crazy you can't even possibly imagine what they look like,
Right.
So I think that played a part in this is sort of imagining what they look like just by getting little glimpses. But then later on we got to see a little bit more of them, especially that huge fucking one. which I thought was I thought that shot was awesome, where you saw that big fucking huge mammoth one.
Me too. I think everything, production shots, the sets they used, even the apartment was great. Was all done well.
Yeah.
I liked all that. I have no issue with any of the production.
Yeah. Creepy Girl saying, but was it really the end of the world? I don't think that ever happened. So, I mean, that's up for debate. That's what the film is, right? Like, there is that whole thing where was it in her mind because she was so grief-stricken that she created this sort of thing,
And I think that's fair, too.
Yeah.
Well, there was a line that led you to believe that it was in her head.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the movie.
Yeah. And especially we also get that sort of animated sequence where she's seemingly dreaming, right?
I thought that was really cool. It actually reminded me of Robotech or some old school 80s, anime.
No, I agree. I like that they did that in terms of like a dream. Like it made sense because a lot of times when you do some like an animated scene, it seems really jarring and out of place.
Yeah.
But I think that this one made sense. It definitely was still a little bit jarring to me, but I like the animation style and I like that they did something. They showed more of the monster in that scene because they could, right? Like you're only limited by what the artist can create. There's technically no budget in terms of like CGI or whatever. You can do whatever you want. So I thought that was really smart to do that little animated scene.
I think it also it didn't really define the year, but it was definitely probably the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, she did have a Walkman and there's cassettes. There
maybe
wasn't
90s?
Yeah, maybe 90s. I mean, there was no real. I don't think we saw a cell phone.
They intentionally
landlines.
Yeah.
But they intentionally left dates out of things,
especially the gravestone. Which
Yes.
I'm a huge. I don't know why I like this. I like movies that can be stage plays. I like superheroes with collars and cavalier boots, and I like when gravestones don't have years on it necessarily. I don't know why. It fucking
because both dates were intentionally left out of the stone,
right?
Birth and death. So,
and I do like that as well. I like when it's ambiguous. Like I like that way you can do whatever you want. If you wanted to add little bits of technology, sure, go for it. It's world building. You're creating the world.
Right.
And in this, they decided to have one with limited technology, which I thought was cool. And the radio station was a big thing. So for me, if the radio, I mean, obviously there's still radio stations nowadays, but the biggest part is if you want to get a message out to people, it's probably going to be on the internet, right?
Right. Well, it makes sense too. The TVs they had, the phones and the walkie-talkies. I mean, like if it was the social media now, you would have more, more likely aspect.
But this was also set away from a major city, so where technology isn't at the peak.
But did they say that? Was that?
What, that is away from a city?
Yeah.
You could see that it was away from a city, that it was a small town, probably miles away from a city. Where it wouldn't be unreasonable
that's
for...
my interpretation, too.
Yeah. It wouldn't be unreasonable for people to just still have cassette tapes and reuse them.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any towns like that.
Why?
Around, maybe Alaska.
Maybe Alaska?
Yeah.
Why do you think Alaska's they're 30 years behind in technology?
Yeah, they just got Home Improvement. They're very excited about Tim Allen over there. Yeah. It's a good show. What's Urkel up to?
Okay, when was the last time you went to a Midwest town that was miles away from anything?
Well, I don't go to Midwest towns.
So how do you know the technology they use?
Because we have many listeners in the Midwest, and they're big fans of Trick or Treat Radio. Thank you very much.
Oh, we had Mike, who was in the void of Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, Mike, he's got a computer.
He's actually on his phone in the woods.
Oh, see? Yeah, but no.
But if there was a small town that doesn't have access to this type of technology, they would not be listening to our show because they don't have that type of technology.
I don't know, man. I think they at least have CDs and not cassette tapes.
I don't think we even saw any CDs in this, right?
Well, that's what I mean. I think
yeah.
To Ari's point, I think if there was a town that was
not necessarily. If they're just using cassettes, then that's what you're going to see.
So I think Smallville has at least Blu-ray now.
Oh God, Jesus Christ,
Smallville.
I don't think in the continental United States that.
Did you ever have the capability of recording a CD?
Did I?
Yeah, you.
Yeah,
yeah. You had to think about it.
Well,
How did you do it?
I would put it in the CD player, and I would take my cassette, and I would hit record.
You would record a CD onto a cassette.
Right.
You wouldn't record a CD.
But the question was, have I ever recorded a CD? I have recorded a CD onto a cassette.
No. said, "Have you ever recorded onto a CD?"
Well, no, but Johnny has.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I
But so
do-
if you wanted to record something, you would record it onto a cassette.
No, I would call Johnny and I would say, "Can you make this on a on
yeah,
a
this is.
cassette?"
I'm sorry. I apologize to the listeners.
Don't ask the questions if you're scared of the answers.
I'm not scared. Yeah, okay, I am scared of the
Yeah,
answers.
he is.
I'll tell you right now, a scared con this week, I'm going to be fucking talking to Johnny about all kinds of IT related stuff.
Oh boy,
A lot of questions.
No. Hopefully, there's lots of people at the booth. I don't want to
no,
answer them.
fucking me and Johnny talking about.
I am
stuff.
so sorry.
You're fucking next, Aries, too.
So
I'm sorry.
I don't want to give too much away about this movie because if people haven't seen it yet and they do want to watch it, there's not a. I mean, there is some spoiler stuff that I don't want to get too deep into. I will say that I thought they did a pretty good job. I know it was CGI, but they did a pretty good job with Edward's face. That dude who was like missing the face. I thought that was pretty cool.
Me too. I like that. I would say I have no issue. I liked all the production or the visual shit.
What'd you think? You like the turtle?
I like the turtle. Was it a real turtle?
Yeah,
was a
I
real
think
turtle.
so.
Yeah, it was cute. I could never have a turtle.
Speaking of turtles, I guess Sylvester Stallone still has the turtles from Rocky.
He does, yeah.
They're like what, like 50 years old or something like that?
They're our age.
50. That's scary.
They're probably.
I should get a fucking turtle. They live like. You have to worry about them dying.
At this point, it would outlive you, so don't get it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so they're at least over 42 years old.
Yeah.
I could never have one. Mom wouldn't let me.
Aw. Did you guys like the monster design though, from what we saw?
I did.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did like the monsters, but I couldn't help but think of
Del Toro.
No, Stranger Things.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I could see that. But they're also, I would say that they're probably based on Lovecraftian sort of.
I would, but that was where my mind went. Especially some of the other visuals led me to think of the Upside Down.
Yeah.
With how she was.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. All right. And let's see. We did discuss this a little bit, but I also thought that, for a movie that's trying to show the end of the world on a relatively small budget, I think they did a really good job of making this feel solitary and very lonely. And I think that's really a tribute to the direction and the way it was shot and the way it was edited. I think that they did a really good job with that. And
I think being in the winter helps also.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was sort of like end of the second act, beginning of the third is, the snow definitely added like that feel to it, like that cold, isolated feel, So I think they did a lot with a little. Which
I think that was kind of when it kind of got me too, when after and we're going back a little bit, but spending the night there and waking up in the house and all of a sudden, you wake up when it's fucking cold, right? It's cold and then nothing's fucking working, and that realization, like, something's fucking going on. TV's not working.
Yeah.
Just did the power go out in a storm, or is it something more? So that's when I kind of got, now I'm kind of interested in this.
So towards the end, you were kind of getting a little bit more in?
I got less in. So I was in.
Oh, okay.
Then I was out.
You were in and out.
Yeah. I was like Pacino in 3.
So I guess we could probably head to a verdict on this one because we still have a lot of other things I want to get to, and I think if we talk more, I think we'd get a little bit into spoilery territory. So I want to sort of leave this one out there for people to, if they want to explore, they can without giving too much away. So let's head to the verdict.
Trick or treat, baby. I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time. We're going to let you know whether this flick was a trick or a treat. Any final thoughts? Raven Shadow.
What I did think was a treat was her Spies Like Us Arctic gear.
Oh, yeah.
That she wore.
Spies Like Us.
What's all I kept thinking about.
Oh, man. I haven't thought about that movie in a while.
Oh, I think about it pretty much every day.
Won't you gentlemen come inside and have a Pepsi?
Apparently, Aries thinks about it all the time, too.
See? Don't you feel you have the urge to urinate right now, Aries? Let's watch that movie. The fucking Fitzhume.
Fitzhume?
That was a dude.
Yeah.
Fitzhumes. You can have my sister. I hear she's very good. That's a fucking movie treat. Fucking Spies Like Us, dude.
Spies Like Us is a treat.
Oh my god, the highest order. But yeah, no, I gotta deal. I gotta agree with my man Steven Van Samson, Rebecca Robain Stamos. And try to be too smart for its own good. First time director, mad props. So you did a great fucking job of you made a fucking very pretty movie for a low budget, and I do agree that the isolationism and the tragic loss is something that was conveyed. But I don't know, man. We've seen a lot of these. I would say it's barely a trick. It's not a bad movie. It's not a movie for me, but I think it was a little, I don't know, too smart.
You were too smart for it?
I am too smart. Yeah, thank you, John. I was going to go the other way, but I feel that my heightened intelligence,
heightened mutant senses,
my mutant powers, my Italian mutant healing factor, wasn't able to.
You're gonna live for fucking ever.
It might, probably not, Johnny.
Okay.
I figured like that'd be a joke. What if I ever live forever? No, I think. Yeah, I think it's.
What if I make it the next week?
Yeah. That's more likely.
That's a funny story there. But we'll see. So once again, those who have me in the death pool, might be the year.
Might be the year.
It'll all work out, I'm sure. I don't know, dude.
You done?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You done?
I miss Monster Zero.
He's been gone for a week.
Oh my God, he's not here?
Where the fuck is he?
Where the fuck is he?
He's probably sleeping. That's my call his house.
We did say last week you wouldn't be here.
But no, there's parts that would get me too. With the radio station and her walkie-talkie.
So there was enough to keep you sort of wanting to watch it, but at the end you maybe weren't sure whether you liked it or not.
Yeah, so I was in, and I wasn't down with the payoff.
Okay.
So
yeah,
fuck it, trick.
All right, Aries.
Pretty
trick. You 180 that one.
Yeah, I'm juking and jiving.
That was like some of MZ's old ones. Yeah, this movie looked great. It looked so fucking good. There was so many cool things in this trick.
Not enough butt cracks.
Yeah, this movie was definitely made for someone. That someone was not me.
Made for someone.
The bedridden.
Yeah, no, this movie definitely has an audience, and I am not that audience. But this movie definitely had aspects I thought were good.
Yeah.
It looked great. The acting was good. It did have some decent tension. But the problem is that the best tension was at the beginning of the movie, and as the movie went on, the tension they had was less and less.
Yeah, that's fair.
And the big monster, I felt that was a waste. Like there was nothing with that.
Yeah,
it was just there.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely didn't have any bearing on things. It just was like, hey, for me, it was just like, hey, end of the world. We're just kind of showing you.
Yeah.
You know.
Here's this. We have the budget to make this.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
And it was like there was no build to it. There was no tension. Like I started watching this movie and I fell asleep, so I had to finish it.
5
a.m.
this
afternoon.
next day. Oh, okay.
No.
I did this morning.
Thought you pulled a Raven shot.
No, I finished it this afternoon, and apparently I'd fallen asleep during that big monster. I was like, wow, I really don't remember this. I'm happy I brought this back to be on this because I was rewinding and I was like, oh, this is where I'll bring it back a little further. And I'm happy I did because I apparently nodded off completely through that. And there was nothing. There was no jolting music or anything to say something was happening. It was just kind of like a, hey, there it goes. Yeah. Like just like watching a dog walk down the street. So I just felt that was a missed opportunity.
Okay.
But I mean, this movie just.
Okay, you all right, Aries?
You don't hear that?
Yeah, we all hear it.
It's making a weird noise.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to investigate as soon as I'm done.
Aries has gone bye-bye. What do you got, Johnny?
Yeah, no, this movie, yeah, if you agree with me in any of my other, not predictions.
Said no one ever. No,
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, if any of my other reviews have struck a note with you, yeah, then skip this one. This is a treat in my mind.
A treat, huh?
Trick. God damn
you
it.
just did the MZ thing.
I'm blaming him for this.
This movie
This is a
sucked.
trick.
I hated this. It was stupid. Treat.
It's a treat in my mind, but a trick in my heart.
JB's hanging out in the chat room.
My dude.
And JB says, great review, Raven Shadow. Definitely going to watch Spies Like Us now.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. That's a fucking movie,
Yeah,
JB.
definitely. Creepy Girl says, I think it was the end of the world. Everything was symbolic of her grief or loneliness, but it was hard to pick out what was what. All right. This movie's not for everyone. I'll definitely say that. So for me, this was a nice surprise. I'd heard a lot of positive buzz coming from festivals about this film, so I've known about it for a little bit. I actually played at the Boston Underground Film Fest back in March. I didn't get a chance to see it then. So I've been kind of keeping it on the radar, and it just hit VOD. Figured it was perfect for us to do. I thought the first act of the film left me wondering where it was heading, but around that 30-minute mark, it had a more definitive direction that kept you guessing. So while unfolding the mystery of what's going on, you're sort of learning more about the story while unfolding a little bit of the mystery. I like that we got some good glimpses at the creatures. I also feel it did a great job of world building. Despite showing a tiny little snapshot of this world, I wanted to know more about what was going on. So this was almost, for me, like, what was that, J.J. Abrams?
Yeah, right. The one that's not Cloverfield, but the
no,
other
Cloverfield.
one,
That's what I mean. Like, but it was like something that could have taken place in the Cloverfield universe. Cloverfield extended universe, because this is one little glimpse that we got. Not saying it was it didn't feel like a Cloverfield film.
I know what you're saying, right?
But I'm saying you get one little glimpse of a much larger world, and that's something I always like, and I feel like it was effective because I wanted more. I wanted to see more. So whether or not this was actually happening or not, for me, I thought it was a great little glimpse of this world, and so I wanted to know, like, who were these creatures, where did they come from? And the thing at the end I thought was also very cool, where, like, that kind of, like, twist, I guess, in a way.
I did like the dialogue that was had.
Yeah. Where the tapes, what they spelled out and all that stuff. Like, I just thought a lot of that kind of revelation stuff was cool. And, it kind of ends on a somber note, I guess. But I guess in a way that makes sense when it's a film about grief and loss. So, it's one of those things where that's why I want to relate it a little bit to the Babadook. I'm not saying it's as good as the Babadook, because I know a lot of people love that. I personally think this is probably as good, but obviously these guys both gave it tricks, so I think your mileage may vary. But I think that this is a really creative film, and I think it's well done, and I really am looking forward to see what A.T. White, the director, does, because I think he's got a great eye. I just think he was able to build a lot of great tension. I think that it was very atmospheric, and it set like a very specific tone. I like the music. I like the original score. There was a lot of great stuff going for this, and I think it's a really interesting film. Once again, as you can kind of see based on our reviews, I really enjoyed it. These two were pretty lukewarm to not really loving it. So once again,
I want to say this though. I would definitely be down to seeing what this dude does next.
Yeah.
Once again, it's just because this didn't work for me. I'm curious to see what the next three pictures are, if you can make them. And I will say, I also thought of the movie I Kill Giants.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed more than this. Not that it's
that movie's great.
Movie,
yeah.
But I kept going back to.
Yeah, because that was, in a way, I mean, once again, that was, I don't know if there's a specific name for that kind of film. I mean, maybe there should be, right?
Right.
Where it's this sort of like analogy of dealing with something, or another one could be colossal, right?
Yes.
So, I do love, I think it's a great analogy.
Metaphor movies? Or?
Yeah, like it's a metaphor for something else. Like in this case, it's grief. Whether or not what took place, whether you want to believe it was real, in finger quotes, or not, I think that's besides the point, because it's art. It's like looking at a piece of art and interpreting it the way you want to. Like the artist may have been thinking this, but then you feel this. Like fucking the Police with Every Breath You Take.
Right.
How many fucking weddings did that play at?
Missing the message.
Yeah. It's a song about a fucking stalker.
Yeah.
But it played at so many people's weddings once again, that's misinterpreting the point of the art. But you know what? What matters is what it means to you.
Roxanne?
Right.
Is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
No more fucking
Most
interpretation.
people, yeah. Well, I'm sure some people don't get it still.
That's a wedding song.
But once again, I love when art is open to interpretation, and this is definitely one of those. Yeah. And when it is open to interpretation, it is going to be divisive. It's going to be, I got it, but I didn't like it. Or I didn't get it, I didn't like it. I got it, I loved it. It's just open for interpretation. And I think that this is one of those films that just depends on whether or not you're vibing with it, Raven Shadow, right?
True.
To coin your term.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So, I think that if anyone has dealt with any kind of grief, I could see people really sort of like grabbing onto this and understanding it, because everyone has dealt with some form of grief in their life. Not saying that you're going to watch this and be like, oh my God, this is exactly what it was like. This is what I felt like. This is what I went through. This is a great metaphor for that. Not saying that, but I think that there's a lot of originality here, and I do feel that this is a great interpretation of grief, and it is art, and it depends on how you interpret it. That's it. I think it's a beautiful piece of art, and I think it was incredibly well made, and I'm super excited to see what this guy does next. But not everyone's going to get it. Like a creepy girl in the chat room didn't get it. She didn't like it. That's totally fine. It's open for interpretation. And I like films. I would take a film any day like that is open for interpretation, than something that's cut and dry and that is just okay. People are like, yeah, it was fine. It wasn't bad. It was okay. I will take a film any day that is going to make you take a side and make you think a little bit. For me, I like that challenge. And, I think that this film provided it, and I think it was really well made. So there you have it. That's our discussion. I don't know if I said so, but definitely a treat for me. So there you have it. There's our discussion about Starfish. If you take Steve's verdict into account, 3 tricks, 1 treat. Yeah. So, take that how you will, and I think people should check this out, though, because I think it is I think it is a divisive film, and I think that it is art, and some people may identify with it, and some people will. So if you're so inclined, check it out. That is our discussion of Starfish. Now, we're running really late because, we obviously started the film discussion much later than we normally do. So we will take a break in just a moment. But next week, Raven Shadow, you may or may not be with us, right?
Yeah, I will not be here next week.
Okay.
I will not be here next week.
So the movie I was gonna do, I want to hold off on because I think that it's going to be an interesting discussion for the one I want to do. I want you here for it.
All right, thank you.
So next week we're doing Spies Like Us.
So next week I'm going to do a Netflix pick.
Oh.
And I actually think Creepy Girl may have actually posted about this. I saw some other people talking about it as well. But it is on Netflix, and the name of the film is The Perfection.
Oh, true.
So we're going to check that out. And I'll wait for what I was going to do for next week until the week after. We were actually going to do the listener pick next week, but we didn't hit our goal on Patreon, so no listener pick. Maybe if we hit the goal, maybe we'll do it in July. We'll see. But so next week we will do The Perfection, and it is available on Netflix. Let me just read a quick synopsis, see if you guys are excited about this or not. And it is directed by Richard Shepard. I'm not sure I don't think we've done anything from him. No, we have not. So anyways, the synopsis: when troubled musical prodigy Charlotte seeks out Elizabeth, the new star pupil of her former school, the encounter sends both musicians down a sinister path with shocking consequences.
Oh, shit.
It is 90 minutes, Aries. Right on the dot for you.
That's perfect. Treat.
So, Raven Shadow, if you are so inclined, feel free to watch it and give your thoughts.
I think I will have the opportunity.
Yes, it's true. All right, so we are going to head to a break, and I'm actually going to play in just a moment. We're going to play the promo for Retro Redoctopus. Steve sent it to me while he was still here, so we'll play that promo. We'll get some other stuff, and we'll come back. We got some voicemail. We're going to talk about some other cool stuff, And how long until we're back, Aries?
2 and 2.
That's pretty good.
Greetings! We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, a bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
He's right. We wax philosophic about lots of geeky crap like old video games and movies, toys, cartoons. I don't know, help me out here.
Music. Pants.
Quoting video games that don't have dialogues.
Shabibers.
Tasty news.
Unnecessarily long Japanese onomatopoeia.
Butt breathers. Uncomfortable nature facts.
Or how to install a thermoflange.
And unlike all those other podcasts, we at Retro Reductopus have an exciting rotating host schedule.
Do we? We sure do.
So, if you didn't like the guy flapping his gums this week,
like me,
worry not, gentle listener. Next week we'll have a whole new host.
Of problems.
Hey, they might still suck, but they'll suck differently.
And you know what's really cool? Retro Reductopus is part of the Inebriard Podcast Network, with new episodes out every Tentacle Tuesday.
Which is like every other Tuesday. We named it.
Anyways, you can listen to us at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, or straight from the tab, reductopus.buzzsprout.com.
I'm Alex West.
And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast.
And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Hello. This is the Sasquatch, a.k.a. Bigfoot, but you can just call me Frank. And when I'm not stomping around the woods throwing rocks at hunters, I like to listen to the Paranormal Punchers podcast. That's right, Paranormal Punchers. They talk about all things paranormal, and they're hilarious. Go find them on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and ParanormalPunchers.com.
I'm Mike Allred. For the gidgiest listening experience, you gotta check out Trick or Treat Radio.
This was the killing mile that I knew I'd have to run. And you run with a gun in your hand, like a criminal stealing dreams. But what you feel is the fire in your eyes and the bandwidth of your rough house is in your face. Rough house is in your face. All the power's in your hands. We will make them understand. Rough house is in your face. I know the road behind me. It beckons me to finally live.
All right, we're back on Trick or Treat Radio. You
like
jamming out here, Raven Shadow?
I like that. I like
That's
that.
Rook singing.
Oh, he's fucking.
Yep.
He's fucking soulful.
So it was Rough House Road. I apologize for a little bit of radio silence, but I forgot that I was actually playing something from a website and not from my my decks over here that I use for playing stuff. So people on the live, I'll edit that silence out. That's the only time I edit is if there's silence. So I'll edit that on the podcast so you didn't hear it.
Wait a second. You edit silence? Is that why I'm not on that much?
Yes, exactly. So, all right, we just got another piece of feedback in.
Oh, from whom?
Oh, well, we'll find out soon. But okay, so we obviously just jumped into things with Rough House. So, I wanted to catch up on a couple things here.
I have a story if there's time.
If there's time. Is it a good story?
It is a good story, Johnny.
All right, tell your story then.
All right, it's quick. I was gonna do it in the intros, but we didn't have them.
But we didn't do them.
We didn't do
because
them.
you were in your seat.
So I was in my seat. I did the fucking intro, and Steven Van Samson liked it.
Yes, he did actually.
But Steven doesn't have an intro, so we can't do an intro with him.
Steven?
Yeah, Steven.
Steve.
His full name.
Steve Van Samson is his full name.
Oh, I thought you said Steven Van.
I don't know what I said.
Anyway.
But what I was trying to say is that sometimes, Johnny.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Johnny Wolfenstein.
Johnny Wolfenstein. That's true. The first. I see midnight movies at the Coolidge
No,
Corner
you did
Theater.
not. You did not. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you.
I fucking did it.
How was your nap?
I didn't.
Yeah.
have
Whoa, hold on. What percentage of the film did you actually see?
All of it.
No way.
I just saw all of it.
No way.
And it was a very busy day. I'm sure you're going to talk to. Maybe you might say what we did, but we did a lot of things. On that day.
What?
We did a lot of things though on that day.
You and I?
Well, all of us.
What are you talking about?
Saturday.
Yeah, we did.
Oh.
Well, I know. I said it earlier. We
Okay.
we recorded the first Patreon exclusive.
So not only did we
episode.
record the first Trick or Treat
We
Radio.
recorded some video stuff for later.
Oh, it was so nice.
Yeah.
Very inappropriate. So I was trying to describe what we shot. I was asked, what did you guys film today? I'm like, well,
what we filmed and what will be released are two different things.
It's true. It's true. But no. So not only did I before that, I mowed the lawn. I put the air conditioners in. It's going to be summer soon.
Wow.
So I put all the ACs in.
And you hit traffic because you were late.
Hit traffic, so I was tired to shower. And get to the studio, recorded some Patreon stuff, and we were talking on the stairs outside like gentlemen.
Yep.
And I was like, I want to go, but I'm tired. But no, I went with a beautiful companion who pushed me in the direction of we should do what we planned on doing.
Yeah. Like do some fucking shit, Raven Shadow.
True, yeah.
Go do something.
Yeah, well,
for a change.
I want to see a good movie at midnight.
Instead of a bad one.
Yeah, right. I may have had some help,
Oh, yeah, you definitely did.
I did, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you had some help.
Rhymes with need. But, yeah. But no, I really enjoy it. Yeah, so I saw Skip Shea's film Trinity.
Yeah.
Premiere, our good buddy Skip Shea.
Well, it wasn't the premiere, but...
Well, premiere for me, right. It wasn't premiere, but it was...
the premiere for me.
It was my personal premiere. The other people were there. But no, I saw Skip. Saw Patsy and Ashes were in the house. Pantaphobe was there.
Oh, nice.
It was very cool. I wanted to chat with her
Nice.
after the movie, but she kind of left quickly. But
well, she's a big star.
yeah, she had to go. The paparazzi was flowing. But no, it was nice. It was really good. I've been to Coolidge Corner Theater since, I don't know, maybe the fucking Spike and Mike Twisted Animation days.
Wow.
Or we may have seen Clockwork on like 35 millimeter or some kind of film print years ago. I don't remember.
By the way, Clockwork's coming back to theaters in, I want to say June 13th or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's it playing?
I don't know. I just saw like a thing that's saying it's coming back to theaters, so you'll have to keep an eye out.
That'd be cool. I mean, I probably saw it twice when they have various re-releases.
Yeah. I've seen it in theaters too. I mean, if I can see it in like 35 millimeter, like I'll see it any old time I can if I can see them in 35. So.
Yeah, and I could be wrong about when I saw it. I'm not sure if it was 35, millimeter.
Yeah,
print,
yeah.
But it was film, right? It was film.
Yep.
But no, it was really cool. It was a nice night out. So I'm very glad. It was a good day, and we had a blast. It was great seeing Skip. And then, although it was funny, we go to so we get there. It's like, I don't know, 11:30.
Yep.
Or maybe 11:15.
Yep.
Good time, and they don't let you in because there was a film on, so you got
Right.
tickets, and you had to come back at midnight.
Yeah.
So we is there anywhere to get a drink around here? Anywhere to get a get a beer? And the 5 people behind the glass, because it's like you're behind the glass because you can't come in. They give me all those weird fucking directions. Well, if you go by Dunkin' Donuts, take a left and then a right and a right and another right, you'll be there. I'm like, so take a right and a right and a right past Dunkin' Donuts. Well, there's 2 Dunkin' Donuts. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't say go
Right.
to the Dunkin' Donuts
Yeah.
in this state.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, where's the beer near? Which one is near the beer? So I'm like, and meanwhile, they're like fucking 5:20 somethings. You know where the fucking beer is, right? So some kid outside overhears me. He's like, what are you guys looking for? I'm like, beer. He's like, oh yeah, right there. And essentially, it's like I could throw a rock to the beer joint.
Yeah.
What the fuck, assholes?
Well, if you make 4 rights, you're back at where you started
I guess,
from,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not wrong.
It's fair. A long way to go. But I know it was very exciting. So I got to see Skip, saw Trinity. It was very good. Very. I don't know if a feel-good picture is the way to go about it.
Oh, no.
But it was a very, very powerful, and it was great. It was great. And then we ended up coming back to Necronomicon and stopped by all-night, 24-hour Price Chopper. If you go to all-night Price Chopper at, say, like 3 in the morning.
There's one right by my house. Is that
Yeah.
the one?
Not that one. No. We're more closer to me, to the Auburn.
You go to Park Ave?
Not Park. No. Yeah, that's fucking. That's like Moss Isley after dark.
Wait. Mose Isley or
Moss?
or John Mox Isley.
Mox Isley. Bill Mosley Isley. But yeah, it's like fucking going to like fucking natural born killers. It's fucking very weird. But then we had French toast and strawberries with what do you call it? The cream.
With the cream. The cream.
What the cream?
We could probably leave this part of the story out if that's your hand gesture you use.
What do you call it? Philadelphia cream cheese.
Dick Delacreme.
Yeah. And it was nice. And it was a good day.
I'm glad you had a good day, man.
But I saw a midnight movie, Johnny.
I'm so fucking proud of you. I'm crying right now.
See?
You can't see it, but I'm crying.
It's an all new Raven Shadow. Well, not really.
Well,
new. It's
a nude.
Ooh, that was at 4 in the morning. Johnny.
Whoa!
That's
what
not-
time did you wake up?
I
3 p.m.
No, I was kind of up. I was kind of up for a while, but it was a good night. But yeah, I'm proud of me.
He's proud of himself.
I am proud of me. And I can tell Aries is too. She's not showing.
He's
it.
very disapproving right now.
Mainly because of the applauding.
Yeah, and how many times did you smoke that night? That's really what we want to know.
Yeah, how many times you leave the theater during the movie to smoke?
Oh no, I never do that. I never do that.
Don't no.
I would never do that.
By the way, Marion's laughing at you. I don't think she's laughing with you. I think it's at you.
I think she's laughing. No,
It's
I don't.
lol.
Yeah.
Lol out loud.
Lolo.
Lolo.
Lolo. Lolo Calrissian. Very exciting.
Well, very proud of you, Raven Shadow.
Thank you. So am I.
She says she's laughing with you.
See, she's so fucking nice. She's a nice lady.
Enough with the applauding.
What? I'm saying I'm clapping for Marion. Big ups to yourself. Big ups to everybody. So yeah, I
Did you wear your battle pack to the theater?
I brought it with me, but I left it in the trunk.
In the trunk.
Yeah.
So you didn't have your wallet with you?
I had my Adidas jacket on, so I had my Adidas jacket.
Besides the wallet, what is in the purse?
It's a battle pack, Aries. My sunglasses. I'll show you.
Sunglasses at midnight. Okay.
Well, stealth. My.
All right, we don't need to see. We have other stuff
Chapstick.
to get to.
Chapstick.
We have other stuff to get to. So, very nice story, Raven Shadow. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I bet Skip was very proud of you as well.
He was. I think he didn't know who I was for a minute.
You have to remind him?
I did.
All right. So, we were doing a contest. You know what? We didn't hit the goal that we wanted to hit, so I'm going to extend the contest mostly for a couple of reasons, because, we can do that. And number two, we actually have some of the prizes that we're going to put in the prize pack.
Oh, man.
So I wanted to show people, and maybe people will be like, oh, I need that.
Oh, is that?
Is what? So
I'm excited.
So a couple things. So we're gonna let's extend it till the end of June. How about that? Because we have some stuff with Scaricon. We have some other stuff going. I want to give some other people. So everyone who's already, and you know what I'll do? You know what I'll do? For the people who have been our supporters since May, what I'll do is for everyone in May that stays our Patreon supporter in June, they'll have double the entries. Because they supported us early in May, and they're also supporting us in June. So because of that, I'm going to give them, if they had a $5, if they were in the $5 tier, now they get double that, 10 entries into the contest.
Shit.
Because I want to reward them for getting in early. So
what if they're the next tier up?
Well, if the next tier up, then they pay $10. They get 20 entries.
Holy shit.
So everyone who's already in on it, you get double the entries because you guys were first. I want to make sure it's in your favor. So throughout the month of June, if you sign up for the Patreon, if you're a supporter, everyone gets entered into a contest to win the Trick or Treat prize box. Now, once again, as I said, if you want to just help keep the lights on, $2, that's all it takes. You get 2 entries. If you supported us in May, you get 4 entries for that price. So that's how we'll do it. Depending on which tier you get in, you get additional entries based on the dollar figure. So now we have some stuff to show off that we're going to have in the prize pack. So I figured it'd be a little bit better. We'll get some stuff when we're at Scaricon, and there'll be some stuff there that we'll get as well. So this isn't it, but we got in, and I want to thank everyone at Quirk, because quirkbooks.com, that is, we got a copy of the paperback for We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. Look at this. It's like a Rolling Stone cover.
I fucking love that cover. Very sexy cover.
Well, I got to say I'm partial to the other one because I love the design of that hardcover.
Agreed.
It's fucking beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful books I've seen. But this is also, they went a different route with this, and they went sort of more like a Rolling Stone cover, and I really dig that too. So this is a paperback version of We Sold Our Souls, brand new from quirkbooks.com. Hasn't even been cracked open yet. So you guys want to take a look at that?
Yeah.
You guys will get a copy of We Sold Our Souls. So we appreciate Quirk for sending those out. And we got 2 copies. So if any of you guys want to borrow, we have a studio copy as well.
A screener.
Screener, sure. So we also have some Trick or Treat Radio. I don't know if I call it merch, but it's some cool little stuff that we're doing for Scaricon. And we're going to keep some of this back. We're not going to give all of it away at Scaricon, and you guys can get some of it as well. So we made an order for some little giveaway stuff. So let me see if I can get this. Raven Chad, do you want to explain this while I hold it close to the camera?
Yeah, no, it's a very sweet square Trick or Treat Radio pin. It's not a pen, but it's a pin. It's very cool. Put that on your backpack. Put it in your battle pack.
It's 1.5 by 1.5, so it's pretty sizable.
Yeah.
So there's the Trick or Treat Radio pin. We got a bunch of these.
Yeah. Put it on your lapel.
There you go. Wear it on your suit. I haven't opened these up yet.
I might. You want a blade?
What do you want me juice me the hard way here?
Yeah, you gotta fucking listen. You gotta get big.
Blade my fucking my head? No, maybe. I think I got it. This thing's strong.
It's so big.
I got it. All right, so let me just take one of these out. Here, I'll pass it around.
Yeah, the Trick or Treat Radio stun discs. Much like Jack Monroe.
Don't give these to Gambit.
Nomad. Yeah, that's fucking nice.
All right, so this is cool. I saw this and I thought it was a really kind of a unique thing.
Yeah.
Because I've never really seen people do these, but it is a Trick or Treat Radio coaster. Created kind of a new design for it because I wanted something a little bit different. So we have Trick or Treat Radio coasters, and these are like, pretty thick, decent quality. I don't think these are gonna. Well, I hope they don't.
Well, no, I mean they're not adamantium, but I mean they're gonna last.
But whip together a design. So there we have it. We're gonna have some of these available as well for Scaricon, and also for the prize pack, we're gonna include all of the stuff that I'm showing you right now.
Very cool.
So whoever wins is going to get a Trick or Treat Radio coaster. They'll get the pin, and they will also get something else. I think I honestly think the coaster is the coolest one.
You love the coaster, but so
I do. Yeah.
I'm gonna put them on my bar, and I actually have a couple Red Sox ones like this.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
I've had for like probably 5 years, and I use them.
Okay. And finally, we got the Trick or Treat Radio die-cast stickers. So good quality, like high quality sticker. It's just the logo basically, and we got a few of these. So we got some of these. So all of these are going to go in the prize pack. So whoever wins the prize pack gets We Sold Our Souls, the hardcover. Oh, I'm sorry, the soft cover, and they're going to get a sticker. They're going to get a coaster. They're going to get a pin. That's just the start. MZ has something that is pretty cool that he wants to include in it. I'm going to let him talk about it, though. So next week, maybe we'll have him talk about it. But something that he had a hand in, something that he did one time. And it's still wrapped. So I'll just kind of leave that in the air. I think
first condom. His first box
oh my
of
God,
condoms.
that really could be it.
There'll be two of them.
Because I think he did only do it one time.
From 1995.
Does semen last that long?
I don't know, man.
I hope he tied it off.
Oh, man, I don't know what happened. That's some fascinating story.
Do you guys? I was going to give everyone one of those. Do you guys want to keep the coasters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we get stickers and pins too?
No stickers.
What?
Yeah, I'll give you the pins now, just because I haven't opened the stickers yet. I'll give them to you at Scaricon.
Cool.
There you go, Aries, Raven
it's
Shadow.
Going on my battle pack.
So we got some cool stuff, and we may do some more stuff eventually. This, we found a pretty good place with pretty good deals, so I think we'll do some additional stuff. You put it on your battle pack?
No, there's a giant spider in the studio, Johnny.
How big?
About this big.
Is it Daddy Longlegs?
No, it's tiny, but it's black.
Do you want to put? Is it gonna poison you?
I know it's far away, but
you want to put it in here?
I ain't gonna go near it.
I'll catch it.
All right. Aries, punch it.
Keep an eye on it.
I am. I'm fucking.
I don't even see it.
It's right fucking there.
Oh, it's not that big. It's just spinning a web. Don't fuck with it.
That's how it gets. That's how they get big.
What's
Johnny.
it gonna do?
Yeah, give me a rash.
Having a couple spiders is a good thing.
Yeah, it is. They're gonna get rid of all the other bugs.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not gonna fucking jump on you and fly and bite your neck.
Aries, you want to switch?
We're almost done.
All right.
So that's some of the stuff. We got some other stuff coming, and like I said, we will do. We'll pick up some stuff at Scaricon as well.
Yes, great.
I don't know what, but some stuff. So
I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go to the bank on Thursday.
You gotta go to the bank on Thursday.
Yeah.
You don't want to write a check?
Yeah. Will D-Rock take a check? He would. He's a nice guy.
I doubt it.
No.
I don't know if you're good for it. By the way, I got MZ's check.
That's fucking ridiculous.
You know what I did? I wish I thought of this on air. I think I told you guys. As soon as you guys left, I was like, oh my God, like I am going to fucking deposit this check using my app and take a photo of it and basically like deposit it electronically. And that's what I did just to fucking spite MZ. So I have the check still, and it's already cash. I already got the money for it.
I think you need a little frame and hang it up.
You're
on the
right.
wall.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea.
Kind of like our first sale.
Yeah, our first dollar.
Yeah, there used to be the Trick or Treat Radio like trophy wall.
A fucking check. I can't. Oh my God.
Unfucking believable. $25. If it was $125, sure. That makes sense to me.
Well, at least he didn't send it Western Union or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even.
Yeah. Do you accept a wire payment?
What the fuck? It's unbelievable to me.
So, let's see. Was there anything else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else we're going to talk about at the beginning of the show. But I think you told your story. I think we talked about the prize box. And we do have some voicemail.
Oh, yeah.
We got 2 of them.
And some feedback, right? Other feedback.
Other feedback?
Do we get like a tweet or a message?
A tweet or a message? I don't know.
You said that, we get a message from somebody, feedback on the show. And I said, who was it? You said, I'll tell you later.
Oh, this is it right here.
Oh,
it's voicemail.
Oh.
You disappointed?
No. I like voicemails, but, I like other media, too. Smoke signals.
All right, well, let's hear the first one, and this is from our boy, Arkham Josh.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio guys, it's Arkham Josh here, calling in some last-minute voicemail feedback for you guys. I got to catch up on a couple of the recent films. Sorry I haven't been calling in for a little while. Things have been a bit busy. But, see, a few weeks ago you guys did Slaughterhouse Rules. I thought this was a fun film, very entertaining, good kind of monster movie. It had some good characters, a decent story, but had some predictable parts to it. But what I was overall happy with was the effects. Had some interesting looking creatures, and, they actually kind of put some money into like the attacks and stuff like that. So overall, I thought it was a lot of fun. It was very entertaining, a little bit goofy at times, and that all worked. So Slaughterhouse Rules is indeed a treat and a recommend. And yeah, looking forward to more productions coming from Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. I guess this was made by a company they founded, and so I'm looking forward to see what else they make. And the other one I did get to watch was this week's film, Starfish. Starfish was a really, really good film. I really liked its kind of whole aesthetic style, even how it like incorporated other like very different styles, like it had like the animated sequence and stuff. I thought the character was interesting. She was good enough to be able to carry this whole film pretty much on her own, and the concept was really good. This was the kind of film that could really fall into being annoyingly kind of kitschy and like weird for the sake of weird, but I think everything kind of balanced out well and worked. Again, this one also, had some really good effects and some good set pieces. It was good to actually get to see some of the creatures and stuff. So overall, I'm going to give Starfish also a treat and a recommend. So, interested to hear what you guys thought of it. So I hope everything's going well up there. Looks like I'm going to see if I can make it on out to Scaricon.
Awesome.
I definitely have free time for it, so going to see how that works out. And hopefully I'll see you guys and hang out a little up there.
Yeah.
All right? So hope you're all having a good evening, okay? Bye.
Awesome, Josh. Thanks, man. And I hope we do get to see you this weekend. It's been a while, so it'd be awesome to have you there, buddy. So, Josh was with me. He likes Starfish. And he also likes Slaughterhouse Rules, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, how about that, huh? All right. We got another one. This is from our boy, First Time Mike.
FTM.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? This is First Time Mike. How's everybody doing?
Good, buddy.
Wanted to give a shout out to you guys from Rough House Publishing on the beautiful gore that you do, the Gore Street Resurrectus. A great version of the veritable old horror comic book. I remember having to search out those copies in little corner bookstores and the comic shop that wasn't just the latest Marvel and DC comic books that would have all the alternative black and whites and maybe some of the Doctor Who magazines, but also a ton of horror stuff. The same place I would get magazines like Deep Red and like the French horror magazines and the weird British horror magazines like Sam Hain and Vonder D13, which I only got because I couldn't read. I got for the pictures because I couldn't read French. But you guys, bringing back the gore. I know the people that came before would love it, and good on you guys for keeping that alive. And want to wish you guys at Trick or Treat Radio all the best at ScareCon. Hope you win out at whatever awards you guys are up for. Have a good weekend. Hope you have a good time meeting whoever you're going to meet. This is first time Mike helping keep the lights on, saying good night. Bye.
Awesome first time, Mike. Thanks, buddy. And we appreciate the well wishes for ScareCon. It should be a good time. And glad that we'll have our running mates, Roughhouse, in tow or there as well. So looking forward to it. And I will make sure, well, I'm sure those guys, maybe they'll listen back, but I'll make sure that Roughhouse gets to listen to the end and hears your voicemail, because I'm sure they would most appreciate it. So thanks first time, Mike. Always great to hear from you, buddy. And I guess we can start to wind things down. What are you looking at, Raven Shadow? Are you excited about that book?
Oh man, I can't fucking wait. What's really cool about it, is it is modeled after Rolling Stone, but I like how it's issue 666 is pretty cool.
Yeah.
In the fine print. No, I really wanted to dig this.
You really wanted to dig this?
Dig into this. You're right. Thank you. Yes. I feel I want to dig it because I haven't read it yet, but I'm pretty sure I will dig it.
How long will it take you to read it, you think?
Well, I made some time in my hands, but
True. You want to take a copy?
Maybe, yeah. That could be kind of cool, actually.
We got another copy right here.
Yeah.
So this will be the prize pack one. You can take that one.
For real? All right, cool.
Yeah,
because you've already put your grubby hands on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I fucking washed them.
I bet you didn't wash them since you were smoking. That reeks of smoke right now.
Listen.
Yeah. Oh man, it's gonna smell like smoke being in your fucking house.
Yeah, that's fucking $4 worth more.
Oh, you know what? Maybe if someone wants the Raven Shadow marinated smoke one, they can get that one.
Premium motherfucking content, right?
Corny? Any takers?
Listen. It's very nice there. I have incense and windows open.
Cigarettes is not incense.
And if you put them in the incense holder, they are.
Oh my god.
No, listen, it's fine. Listen, I got dehumidifier going.
Wow. I just scrolled by this.
Yeah, I saw that.
Corny posted something. Says, I was telling Michael Ravenshadow a couple weeks ago that this part should go to Paul Bettany or Johnny Lee Miller, but it looks like Colin Farrell is being eyed for a new Constantine movie.
Yes, but I thought Paul Bettany
yeah.
would actually be kind of fucking dope. I mean, he's pretty like straight and stoic, but I think he's an actor, motherfucker, act.
Yeah, no, he's been good in a lot of stuff I've seen him in.
He could be good. I like the dude who plays him on the CW programs.
Just John Ryan or something Ryan or
yeah. Colin Farrell's interesting. Who I like aging Colin Farrell a lot more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not like pretty boy like that era Colin Farrell. But Aries is mad. He's like,
I just don't know what area you're talking about.
Well, when he came up, when he was a fucking Bullseye, or when that Alexander movie.
Bullseye is the first thing I remember him from.
He was in a lot. He was what was in Tigerland? It was about a military training.
Oh, yeah.
He was in Phone Booth.
Rimshot, the spider's jumping at you!
Yeah, it could be fun. Just be blonde. John's blonde.
It looks like Mars commented on a thread and says, beginning, middle, and end of the conversation for me, Dan Stevens is John Constantine.
That's a great likeness. Yeah, that's definitely how I picture Constantine.
Well, I could see that, though. Dan Stevens is a good actor. So
what else has he been in besides that horrible photo?
The Guest. Apostle.
Oh, yeah.
He plays, he's in that X-Men program.
That dude? Legion?
Legion,
TV's
yeah.
Legion? Yeah.
You don't recognize him?
Well, no, he's fucking got like weird green hair, and he has like
flowers
shit sticking
in his beard.
to his face.
Yeah, I don't get the picture, but it's cool.
Yeah, he's good. Just be blonde. John's blonde.
And he needs to smoke silk cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, you guys smoke. I mean,
they probably get away with that more in the movie than they could on the TV show.
Yeah, probably.
Actually having him smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's cool is even like on I still got to get through Legends of Tomorrow because I'm not really digging this season, even though John's been on. He does have him out, like he'll hold him, or like he'll go to smoke and like a monster will attack or someone will bust his balls.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, fine.
All right, I think we need to wind things
Yeah,
down.
we
It's getting a little late. We got Scarecon coming up, and I'm going to get ready for that. So, Monsters Here will be back next week. Raven Shadow will not.
Boo, I know.
I don't know. Maybe we'll reach out and see if we can get a guest in studio. I haven't had much time lately, but maybe we'll try to fill your seat, Raven Shadow.
Thank you. If I can, I'll try to. Maybe we can set something up if possible, which could be kind of funny.
Set something up.
Well, yeah, do it on the Skype.
On
The
Skype.
Skype.
You're
Set up
gonna
now.
tell people anything, or you just you're going on location, right? Is that all?
Yeah. All right. Well, all right. Your boy Raven Shadow's having a little procedure on Wednesday. It's not cancer and it's not my brajol. So
you should get snipped though.
No, I ain't doing that.
Why?
It scares me. I don't want to be neutered.
You can't have kids then.
Yeah, I just don't. There's some things you don't want to. Unless you really need to have something, a knife there. I don't want to have that. I'll take a pill though. Is it pills? Is it pills for men?
Well, they put the kibosh on that because they don't want men to have birth control. They want men to fucking put their seed everywhere, Raven Shadow. That's what they want.
I don't want it everywhere. I just want you're home with certain designated
places.
places.
What was that in the back of my neck?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
Yeah, Johnny, check it out. Scarecon. I'm very excited.
Premium content.
Premium content. Yeah, no. So I'm having a little procedure done.
Little thing.
So depending on how and they only do it on Wednesdays. So unfortunately, I this particular
Can they do it here in studio?
that'd be guys.
Can we come and film it?
Yeah. Premium content.
Well, you better get the fucking Bombaleo package for that. But yeah, so depending on how your boy's feeling or my level of painkillers, which I've been told I am getting those. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, so by the way, I can't smoke the day before and I can't drink the day before.
Oh my God, this must be a fucking end of the world for you.
No, I mean I've done it before, but I.
But you don't like to.
I don't like to.
You're gonna go to Art Bradish's to celebrate.
Yeah, I can't. Well, I can eat. I can't eat 2 hours. I can't eat after midnight. I'm like a fucking gremlin.
Like a gremlin.
I'm like a tall, hairy gremlin. But should be interesting. So I got to be watched for 24 hours afterwards.
So should we set up a webcam? Premium content right
you
there.
must be watched by a responsible adult.
Yeah.
Well, how about our
Corny will watch you on his big screen.
He would. Like, that motherfucker's gonna die. Somebody help him.
All right. So Raven Shadow won't be here next week.
Be here.
MZ will be back. If Raven Shadow's feeling well enough, we may connect up with him and see.
Yeah.
But
might leave a fucking painkiller voicemail too.
With dogs barking in the background and trains were going by and.
That's a good one.
All right, so that is gonna do it. So I guess we won't start with MZ. He's not here. Aries.
Goodbye.
Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
I love how you put your low voice on when you do that.
Yeah, baby. Riva douchebag.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to episode 358 of Trick or Treat Radio. We big thanks to Mike Wazon and also to Steve Van Sampson from Rough House Publishing, and looking forward to being at Scarecon with those guys. Hopefully, we'll get some. Unfortunately, Mike won't be there, but Steve and Derek will be there. But maybe we'll get some video content. Maybe we'll get some audio content. We'll get lots of stuff. But everyone go check out roughhousepublishing.com and order Gore Streak Resurrectus Volume 2. It is available for pre-order right now, and it'll be shipping. Right now, probably towards the end of June. So if you order it now, you get it in a few weeks. And there's some pretty cool stuff. There's the ash can that sounds awesome, and there's also some other the ones where Derek does the sketch.
Sketch covers.
The sketch covers, yeah. So there's some pretty cool stuff. So give that a go because I think some of that stuff's running out. So you may want to get in on that if you're interested. Gore Streak Resurrectus Volume 2 looks fucking awesome. So give it a look. And that's going to do it. So for all of us here at Trick or Treat Radio, next week we're doing The Perfection on Netflix. If you want to check it out, do so. Leave us a voicemail, podcast at Trick or Treat Radio, and we'll see you next week.